Well, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Data Sim live stream today. It's the 28th of November 2020, 33 minutes past 5 in the evening in the United Kingdom. An impromptu stream from absolutely nowhere. The original plan was to hopefully jump in Microsoft Flight Simulator and fly the fly-by-wire Airbus A320, which everyone's been bugging me to do for some time. But because of the recent Microsoft Flight Simulator update, that's broken and not working. Because I also have some Manchester scenery to give away from a new developer called Mako Simulations. So that stream is coming up hopefully in the next day or two, pending how that works. So I thought we'd do something else this evening completely instead. So we're back in the X-Plane 11 and the ZIBO MOD 737, and we're taking part in the Poland Link VATSIM event hosted by VATSIM UK and VATSIM Poland, taking us from Luton to Warsaw. Let me get this correct. Chopin. I think that's how you pronounce it. I used to always say Chopin, but we're going to go with Chopin today. So look at this, we're in Luton, lovely scenery from TDG, extremely foggy, misty and murky here. I bet you guys wish I was doing it the other way around, but flight should be around 2 hours or so. Quite a busy event, no doubt, and one of the reasons why I didn't publicise it beforehand was just to keep the kind of numbers down for the stream there, so there might be a few people joining, some members and stuff like that, but the event doesn't kick off for another 25 minutes. I want to be one of the first to get away, but we'll hopefully have full ATC for the entire sector, especially on the approach into Chopin. Perfect. Who we got in here this evening there? Norbert 6929 says Chopin. Infinite Flight Deck says hello, good evening to you. Alpaca Airways Boeing 737-800 said Bray Lason, you're absolutely correct. Boz says hi Captain, did you get your digestives? I made Mariana go and get her digestives. It's not my job to go do that just before a stream, cheeky git. Andy H 1302, 2 weeks running, we've had something decent to watch on a Sunday evening. Yes, only a fan of the X-Plane 11, I know, and the ZIBO 1737, of course, the bread and butter of this channel. Tom Pascoe, a day off work and a live stream. Life is good, outstanding. Lemons YouTube is from Poland as well. Great, right. Thank you very much for all these lovely comments so far. Well, caught you off guard, no doubt. Let's zoom on in here, the main apron, just to show you how foggy it is. Look, if you just go up a little bit higher, there you are, straight into the fog and the mist. So it's a very low cloud base here in Luton. There's already a few aircraft spawning in. We've got an Alpaca Airways aircraft there. Oh, someone's decided to join on the exact same stand. Hopefully he'll move in a second. We'll be here about 15 minutes. We've got an EasyJet here. I think that's static. We've got a Wizz Air, a Polish lot as well. But here she is. There we are. Look, they've just moved across the stand there. Thank you very much, sir. But here we are. Completely cold and dark. Air stairs down. Door extended. You might notice it's currently a little bright in the sim as you'd expect in Luton. We are running the sim 6 hours behind live time. Also, this is the first time we've installed with all of the True F series installed with from Orbex. I got rid of all the Ortho for the UK here because I was so impressed with how it looked in Florida. So I've got all of that installed now, so I don't think we'll see much of it today with such a low cloud base and low visibility over the UK, but what can we do anyway? Lovely. Right, so let's jump on into the flight deck and we'll turn the intro music down there and get the show on the road. So pop the battery on, GPU is now on the bus, electric hydraulic pumps are on, landing gear lever down, we've got 6 green lights, and then the aircraft documentation is checked with the latest public version of the ZIBO mod as well, 344.13, just some minor bug fixes. The main one that was fixed quite recently was the fact that, I don't know if you realised in the last few streams, the aircraft kept depressurising below 10,000 feet. That has allegedly been fixed. Otherwise, I haven't actually tested this version, so hopefully no major issues there. Let's do the fault and fire tests. So there's a squid bottle test, fault test, we have APU detecting op and engine overheat, 3 fire lights, well, and the light is illuminated. Working our way up here then, arm the emergency exit lights, attend call test. Here's a look at our operational flight plan, which is straight from SimBrief. So flight time 2 hours 10 minutes, 7.7 tons required, so it's pretty much full wings. However, as we well know, it can be extremely busy on VATSIM, so I'm going to take additional fuel. Not only that, Warsaw Chopin, they are forecasting snow later. Right now, well, from 1900 Zulu, so in around an hour and a half, an hour before we get there, we have tempo snow with 1500 meters visibility. So it'd be worthwhile taking a little bit of additional fuel. Now, in real life, that would be most likely to anticipate snow clearance. You know, they might have to remove snow from the runway, so it's worthwhile taking additional fuel for those situations. I've only just realised something as well. This is how brilliant SimBrief is. It's actually actually chosen a takeoff alternate for us. So what a takeoff alternate is basically if the weather at your takeoff airport is below the minimums or the minimums defined by operator to fly and approach, you need to choose an alternate which is within 1 hour's flight time, single engine for the 737. Now, I think it's gone for somewhere, I think that's Charles de Gaulle, I think that's been randomly chosen, which is pretty far away. I'd probably want somewhere at least in the UK, which is fog-free. But yeah, you've got to, if you have an engine failure, and you're probably getting close to Cat 3 conditions here, you've got to make sure that you can fly within somewhere within an hour. So I've just literally noticed that now. But anyway, that's what a takeoff alternate is. Let's now take an additional 30 minutes of fuel on top of the standard block fuel, so 7.7, so that'd be 8.7, let's call it 8.9 tons of fuel for our sector to Chopin. So 8.9, let's go here to fuel, payload, 8.9, that's put in there, and we're going to take 175 passengers. Better times here at Alpaca Airways than in real life. There we are, so the passengers are now loaded, and we'll call for the fuel truck. And it looks like the fuel is being uplifted. And there is Ronald. Ronald loading up our fuel today. Lovely. Yes, Lima Foxtrot Papa Golf is Charles de Gaulle, so yeah, a little bit far, maybe perhaps for a takeoff alternate. But imagine having an engine failure and having to go all the way there, but you could probably choose somewhere else. Perfect 99. X-plane plus snow equals bad. Yes, perfect 99. We did our last stream in the ZIBO mod was quite eventful after we landed, because I discovered that X-plane's depiction of a wet runway and the braking performance associated with that is very unrealistic. So we were stopping there, and you know, based on my experience of seeing what braking actions could be like, it was like the braking action was very poor. We had to use all of this 3,000 meter runway. So how it depicts snow, I have no idea. It would probably be hopeless. So we'll probably have to use full reverse thrust until we bring it to a stop. But yeah, that was certainly interesting. Making our way down here, then we'll leave the seatbelt sign off for now as we are refueling. Turn the AP on a little bit later, it's just about warm enough in the cabin. Flaps are up and matching the needle indication, making our way down here, being set. Cargo fire test is fine, everything's as lit up as we'd expect it. Run on trim, we check later. Manual gear extension doors closed. Circuit breakers are all in. Stall warning test. There we go. Okay, speed warning test. Off lights extinguished. We'll go over to VHF1 on the observers panel. EC is on. Engine control lights are extinguished. Reversal lights are extinguished. IRS to nav. 9 minutes for the alignment. Circuit breakers are all in, and we can now start the boarding. There we go. Seb Slater says, good evening, my alpaca friends. Good evening to you as well. Modraz, why do you fly to Warsaw so rarely? Well, Modraz, I have a lot of requests to fly various different destinations. It's been a very long time since we have flown to Poland, let alone Warsaw. I think it's been about 6 or 7 months, but there's so many places to fly to. I think it's taken this time to come round to going back to Poland again, but great to be flying back to this country and to have a busy VATSIM event as well. So I'm looking forward to the rest of this sector. Right, though, I don't think there's any ATC online just now. No, Luton Tower has just popped online now, so no doubt some other controllers will come online too as we get closer to the start of the event, which is in 20 minutes, but there is an ATIS frequency, 120575. I love my new mouse, by the way, guys. My new mouse, Logitech G903. Superb scrolling action. Right, let's get the sound mixer turned up so we can actually grab the weather here.
20. Acknowledge your receipt of information echo.
It's information
and
echo.
Advise aircraft type on first contact.
So we'll tell them we're a 738.
Luton information echo. Time 1720. Automatic. Runway in use 07. Transition level flight level 70. Surface wind 090. 6 knots. Visibility 4,000 meters, mist overcast 500 feet. Temperature +9. Dew point +8. QNH1020. Acknowledge your receipt of information, Echo.
Well, that's the first time I've received a clearance which doesn't have birds in it on VATSIM, which is some good news. So you heard there, it's IMC conditions really. 090 at 6, 4,000 metres mist, overcast at 500 feet. So that's actually fine for a Cat 1 ILS. You could come back in here if you were to have an edge of failure. Temperature's 9 degrees and the QNH is 1020. Now, do excuse me because I did actually calculate the takeoff performance, but I did forget to upload that as a PDF. But that is telling me we have an MFRA of 1530, which is pretty much elevation plus 1,000 feet. And that is the point at which we'll accelerate in the event of an engine failure. And we are going to be planning an NADP-1 departure today for runway 07. Now, the usual departure runway is 25 with the prevailing southwesterly winds in the UK, but all switched around today as it can be there. Jeremy Lemron to overcast at 500 feet, that's correct. You can see here, look, we pop outside, boom. I'd say that's probably a tad lower, but maybe that's the way of the sim's depiction of the fog. But yeah, very low cloud base for this evening's flight. Right. QNH is sent, MFRA is set, pop on terrain here for now, airports as well, turn up the panel lighting. If you have just tuned in, bear in mind we are running the sim 6 hours behind live time, just so we can enjoy, well, the cloudy scenery. Right, enter IRS position. Now it's a little bit early, that message should only appear once the alignment's complete. We still have 5 minutes, so it's a little bit early with the enter IRS. Message there. So I have the latest AirAC installed. We are in Luton, which is Echo Golf Golf Whiskey. Our position is here, GPS left. We're going to Chopin, which is Echo Papa Whiskey Alpha. I think. I'm guessing that, but we should read only off here. Yes, we are correct. Echo Papa Whiskey Alpha. Today we've gone for the Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. So we'll punch that in here. Departures, runway 07. It's going to be very likely the Match 2 Charlie. And from Match, we're going to be routing here. Quite a lot to punch in today, so bear with me. Can't be as bad as me trying to load up the INS and the 737-200, but it was great fun. It was great fun flying the FlyJSim 200 last stream. We need to go pick that up from Key West at some point, but it's great to be doing some old school needles. But it is good to be back in the ye old faithful for this evening's flight. Mike 195 to Redfur, Lima 620 Taka. There we go. Flight Friends says, hi Captain, Tim, Ariel Fraser using real time and weather. Are you referring to myself or yourself? I'm using real weather, but running the sim 6 hours behind live time. Tyrrell says, hey, you'll finally be welcome to Poland. I'm waiting for you at the airport with bread vodka. Be fast vodka is not tasty when hot. Thank you very much. Just put it outside. It's only 2 degrees there, Tyrrell. Matt5778, IXEG anytime soon. Yeah, I think I was talking to some of the members on Discord today. I think it's about time we wheeled out the IXEG again. There has been some updates to that. I know when I used it last I was using this is it called Gizmo, this new thing they had, but I think it was causing issues with my FMC, so I might do a stream without using that new Gizmo function they have, which I think is meant to improve performance, but I need to catch up with their development, see where they're at and what people recommend. But yeah, a great aircraft to fly. Love the sounds in that. Well, there's some free sounds right now. Right, from Robeck we're going to be going direct to Povel, direct to Subic, and direct to Obaku, and direct to Dosix, Papa 150 Bimper, and then it's going to be a Bimper 4 uniform, and we're expecting Runway 33. Now, common question asked, which one do I select? Well, all the different approaches will have some slight differences. Most likely the missed approach could be anything there. Generally speaking, I go for Zulu and then work backwards. That's what I tend to find works. Let's try that transition, and let's have a little look on the plan page to see what it is. But until you get the ATIS, it could be really any of the approaches there. We don't usually execute at this stage, but I will do here just for the sake of continuity. So we've got Whiskey Alpha 507, Lav mix up till... Looks good to me. So straight in approach with no discontinuity, so we'll leave that as it is. Right, looks like the fueling's done, 8.8 tons. So we can pop the seatbelt sign on. And let's continue loading up the FMC here. So, performance, 0 fuel weight 58.3, showing us a gross weight of 67.2 with the 8.9 tons on board. Our alternate was Warsaw Modlin, so it's the second airport that serves Warsaw, very close to Chopin in fact. Our reserves shouldn't be too much. Yeah, just 1.7 tons required. So what I'm going to do is stick in 1.8 because that's kind of like the minimum my approach would use, so I would want to be diverting with more of that than that in tank, but with the extra fuel we have we should be fine. Cost index will use 30, cruising at flight level 370, that's executed. The elevation in Chopin is, bear with me guys, 350 feet, so let's put in 37,000 feet and 350 feet. Top climb wind for us at flight level 370 is 153 at 56, so a little bit of a headwind for today's sector. Top of climb ice is -3. The average wind is 070 at 30, so we'll just switch this over to map route data. First waypoint after top of climb is Ossen, so we'll put in the average wind here, which is 070 at 30. Oh, that's my fault because I put a slash at the start. 070 at 30. That just gives you a better ETA and more accurate data in the FMC. So I don't actually always do that during the stream, but we do every sector at my operator, so why not? Now the OPT, we're going to be departing runway 07 via the Bravo intersection. We don't have to backtrack, I'll show you all that shortly, and that's saying full 24k at 92.2. Or 93.1, sorry, 93.7, which makes sense because as soon as we put the APU bleed on, get some duct pressure, that will reduce to 93.1, so that is completely correct. And full 24k set. Takeoff flat 5, CG is set. V speeds, expecting 140, 141, 148 from the OPT, so they're all correct. Within a knot, and 5.75 units will just set now. Oh, camera's moving very slowly. There we are, 5.75 and V2 148 knots. And that is all set. So FMC is completely loaded. Let's now do the panel scan working up our way here. So flight control switches are all guarded and lights are extinguished. Yaw damper is on. Nav transfer and display switches are all in normal and auto. Fuel, check the crossfeed valve, bright, dim, bright, and off. Main tank pumps can come on, and we have a ton in the centre tank, so we'll put the centre tank pump on as well. Cabin utility, IFE and galley power switches are on, batteries on, IDG disconnect switches are closed. Let's get the APU up and running now because we're approaching 7 minutes until we're due off block. Window heat can come on. We're not in icing or freezing, we're in freezing conditions, sorry, so because the temperature's below 10 and we have low cloud base and low visibility, we're going to use engine and wing anti-ice for departure, even though the runway was reported as dry. Trim air will pop on, auto, we just need to wait for the APU to be started. That's all now set here. Let's have a little look at the charts then, and we'll brief those. Infinite Flight Deck, why do you not have trim wheel sounds? That's a good point, Infinite Flight Deck. I might turn them back on. The reason was, months ago, the way ZIBO manipulated or made realistic automation was to perhaps manipulate the stab trim a little more than perhaps the aircraft would do. Same way you probably realise the FlyJSim does make a lot of trim inputs. The real aircraft doesn't, but I think ZIBO's made a lot of improvements to ensure that the actual autopilot, true to the real aircraft, a lot of the inputs come from the controls itself. That's what the autopilot's doing, and it's only making... It is making fewer trim inputs, so I might consider turning that back on there, but I still have it muted. But I'll consider turning it off next stream. That's why, anyway. Right, yes, what we're doing, we're briefing the chart here. So here we are on stand 7. I'm going to most likely push back to face southwest. Only one way to go, so out via Bravo. And then here's the whole point. Bravo 1. The first holding point for runway 07, and you could backtrack, use full length, but we certainly don't need the performance. You can even depart from hotel, but very tight. You need to be very light to be able to do hotel, so we are going to be going via Bravo instead. So let's set the runway QDM, which is 075 to the heading bug.
50, 40, 30.
Thank you very much
20,
to XX
10.
Burger Fan. Cheers.
Can we pull a few G's on takeoff today? How about going vertical?
XX Burger Fan, thank you very much for your generous donation. I will not be pulling excessive amounts of G's today. I do try and match real procedures as close as possible. Perhaps may I recommend a DCS stream of some sort, or War Thunder, or perhaps we might do it in another aircraft one day, but I will do my best to not fly vertical. I'll be doing that unless something's gone very, very wrong. But thank you no less for your generous donation. That's very kind. I'm sorry to disappoint there. Paul F, thank you very much for Ross Keating. Yes, have you thought about trying out doing some VATSIM ATC? Good question. I have. I might have a little chat with some people I know in VATSIM, see what we could do in the future, but I'm so busy planning streams at the moment whilst we're back on furlough again. I haven't had much time to give it any thought. And guys, as Paul F was saying, as I am in the setup here, I am pretty much concentrating on that. There will be plenty of opportunity in the cruise here for me to reach out and answer any questions. Right, so yeah, happy with the taxi, I'm sure, and the takeoff. We calculated the performance. Here's our departure. It's a match 2 Charlie. So after takeoff, contact London Control or Luton approach or Luton
50,
radar,
40,
and when instructed by ATC,
30,
report call sign
20,
SID, altitude and
10.
cleared altitude. Pretty standard in the UK here. Thank you very much, Kieran Harvey, for the £2. That's to get a pack of digestives from Mariana. Oh, for goodness sake. So if you're new to my stream, my partner Mariana, who's very much an active part of my channel and running my members only Discord, she's currently making, I don't know what it is, a lemon cheesecake with Nutella or something. Can she try to get me to go get digestive biscuits? I told her I'm preparing for a stream, can you please go get the biscuits herself? So Mariana told all the members, please tell Sam to go get digestive biscuits, and about 5 or 6 of you message, go get the digestive biscuits, and it's getting very annoying. But thank you very much, Kieran. I'll make sure it goes into the digestive biscuit fund. My oh my. Right, and as I said, climbing straight ahead to the Luton NDB, which is 3.9 DME off India Lima Tango November. So let's tune up 109.15 first. (109.15) and the NDB 345. That's now active. Turn the panel lighting here slightly as well. There we go. So we've got the ident for the ILS as well, and if we flick this over to ADF, we have the Luton ADF as well, pointing towards the NDB. So straight ahead, and then we're going to make a right turn 156 inbound to Brookman's Park. So we'll stick in, let's put 156 on my side, and Brookman's Park, which is 17.5, we'll put on standby. And once we get to Brookman's Park, it's a left turn outbound on the 083 inbound to Clacton. So what we'll do, we'll put 083 on the first officer side. This would have been an awesome SID to have flown in the FlyJSim. And then we'll put 1455. And on the departure, as long as we don't get any shortcuts, I'll show you how it's all been backed up. We're obviously going to use the FMS and LNAV, but we have this backed up based off conventional navigation. So it is for us, climb straight ahead to the Luton ADF, NDB, sorry, right turn, intercept the 336 inbound to Brookman's Park, which we have here, or 156 inbound on the 336. And the initial stop altitude is 5,000 feet, which is set here. And then, as we said, the left turn inbound to match. Do not interact with other routes. Due to interaction with other routes, sorry, pilots must ensure strict compliance with the cleared altitude. So we have 5,000 feet here set in the FMC as well. So it's all looking hunky-dory. NADP1 departure as well to allow for noise. Pilot status, are you flying on real time? No, we're not. We're flying 6 hours behind live time. So that way you can see here. Well, you can't see because it's IMC, and that's just classic active sky. Look at all this beautiful True Earth scenery I have installed. Now, this is one of my bugbearers. I don't know if it's active sky, but we're completely overcast here. If you come up to around 800 feet, it looks completely fine. And I've had this so many times. Look, if you descend lower, just out of nowhere, IMC. It's really annoying, and then obviously that's now representative of the actual weather, and below this, look, it's completely cloudy. So above it, then yeah, that's, I don't know if that's something in my settings or an active sky thing or an X-plane weather thing. I'd love for that to be rectified or fixed, because the amount of times I've disconnected on streams recently where I've been completely visual with the runway and all of a sudden I'm thrown into IMC, it's a real pain. Right, flight director's on. Order brake to RTO. Reset the fuel. We are due out now as well. I've been natting away here, look. But that's all good. Trim's set, and that's all looking good here. So I think it's about time we got the APU at the bus. Excuse me. Let's disconnect the GPU. Where already is. Retract the air stairs. Look, I'm remembering to close all the doors. Just wait for the cargo doors to extinguish. There we go. And we'll get the clearance as well. And what I'll do, I'll actually call for a better pushback now. It's getting a little bit busier on the network, but not too busy. And what I'll do, as soon as we've got the clearance, we'll set the squawk and we'll request push and start straight away.
Ground to cockpit.
Oh, it's not this guy again.
Through the menu when you're ready. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Thanks. This is the guy who gets very shouty. So what we got here? My goodness, we've got a huge jumbo jet. We've got MD-80s. We've got an A300 from Pakistan International pushing back. Alpaca Airways galore. Another Alpaca Airways pushing behind us. And Wizz Airs. Yeah, I mean, this VATSIM event's going in both directions. And also Stansted is involved with this as well. So it should be very busy in both directions. Hopefully we'll have some traffic crossing on the way there to wave at, which would be really cool. Right, now let's grab the clearance. The ground frequency, let's have a look in front of me here. So we don't have ground online, but we do have delivery, which is 121675.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to fly.
I heard some ATC there. Just bear with me, because I'm just going to turn the volume down slightly there.
Wizard 9er Sierra Papa at stand 44 with the information Echo Airbus A320 requesting IFR clearance to...
Oh, Luton's operating clockwise, are they? Ah, okay.
Correction, Wizard 9 Sierra Papa, standby.
So that's a long way to go around. So maybe we will push in the other direction.
Alpaca 4 Kilo, contact Luton ground 121.750. Bye bye.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Stand by, sir.
Alpaca 782, contact ground 121.
Alpacas galore.
Bye bye.
12175 Alpaca 782. Thank you. Bye bye.
With 9 Sierra Papa, you clear to Warsaw, match 2 Charlie, departure squawk 3532.
Clear to Warsaw by a match to Charlie, departure squawk 3532.
Ah, welcome Lars, glad you're here. All nice and blue in chat.
We'll call you for push with our 9 Sierra Papa.
Luton clearance, good evening. Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, stand 7, information Echo, QNH 1020. We're a 738, departure clearance to Warsaw Chopin, please.
20, 10.
Charlie Hotel, Luton delivery, good evening, clear to Warsaw, match 2 Charlie, departure squawk 47, correction, squawk 4760.
Cleared to Warsaw, match 2 Charlie, squawk 4760, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, read that correct, call me for push.
we'll go. So 5,000 feet. We can confirm it's the match 2 Charlie and a squawk of
Ground, good evening, Monarch 701.
Great to hear Monarch call sign.
9, Boeing 73800, requesting clearance for Frankfurt, please.
Monarch 701, Luton.
Sorry, who was that? Ikri 0002, thanks for the £2. Hi, Captain Hope all as well. It must be truly distracted to keep your head in focus with all that yummy smell coming out the kitchen. Joking aside, I'll shortly be rushing to shower the kids. Have a good one, mate. Jokes, Ikri 0002. The door's closed because she was mixing, and it would be very annoying for you to hear the background. I'm looking forward to see what she's going to be making tonight. Thanks, buddy. Alpaca 7 Charlie, Hotel Stand 7, request push and start.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, contact ground 121.75, bye-bye.
Ground 12175, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, bye. Oops, I might have said something else. Luton ground, good evening, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, stand 7, request push and start.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, stand by, position.
So you said stand by. All ready to go. ST4, okay, hi from Russia, good day to you, sir.
Bravo 1 Delta Alpha and Bravo.
Oh yeah, you're right, they are pushing back in the clockwise direction. Well spotted.
Alpaca 2 Golf, send 41, request push and start.
Now how do I adjust that?
Can't start planner. Pushback already in progress.
Do I have to terminate it?
Please stop the pushback operation first.
How do I adjust the plan? I can never remember. Ah! Simon, turn up ATC, please. Yes, I will do slightly there. It does often. You have to stop it. Fakes mode.
Delta Alpha and Bravo. Alpaca A1 take off on stop. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
So hopefully it won't be too long. Terminate it. Thanks, guys. Damn it, that serves me right for not checking first what's going on around behind me. And hopefully he'll turn up straight away.
Okay, we are on stand 2, an Airbus 321.
Can't start planner.
Damn it.
Pushback already in progress. Please stop the pushback operation first.
But don't think you need. Oh, yeah, I don't. Right, so reconnect. There we go.
Please show me where you want to go.
With our 9 area is Sierra Papa
I'm
at stand
pretty sure though.
Push and start, and good evening to you.
So please stay there. Yes, he's lifting us up, so hopefully he's there. Yeah, so we'll just wait. Thank goodness for that. Thanks, guys. Now I know. I thought you could always just adjust it even though you requested it.
Luton ground, good evening, Monarch 701, stand 9, requesting push and start. Monarch 701, Luton, good evening, hold position. Roger, holding. Black C248, will you require a backtrack today?
Adam, power back. I know it could be an option if all fails. So yeah, you can see that guy is requiring a backtrack, but that's quite normal if he's going quite far as well. It's not the longest runway here, 2,100 metres. Modraz tried to say Dzitzen dobry, which means good day in English. that's I only know Cinque.
Charlie Hotel, start 7, pushing start, face south.
Push start approved, face south, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. So to face south, so it was fine in that original direction, I think.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to
I'm
go.
getting really disorientated here. Yeah, that is south, that direction. I'm just looking on a chart here to double check. See, the thing is, ground crew, when you say to face south, they know exactly what you're referring to here. So, yeah, the original position was correct.
Push approved, facing south, welcome. With 1308.
Stand 7. No, sorry, I'm getting I'm going doolally. That is south, that direction.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Oh, no, release parking brake. Yeah, that's facing south now. So, before we get going, backs off. AP bleed on. Anti-collision light is on. Parking brake is set. Transport out off, but we can now release parking brake. There we go. Off we go. 8 minutes behind schedule, no problem.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Black C248 contact, Luton Tower 132. 132.550 Bay.
132.550 Black C2 for anchoring.
We will do, Cassandra. Oh my, look at that. Massive Dreamliner next to us. Which was already there, but I just realised how close it is. Right, starting engine number 2.
Holding position 1308.
Luton ground, good evening, Wizz Air 1306, stand for 3 QNH
So, head to
1020.
all pressure,
West
N1.
push start.
I was actually looking back at my streams. I can't believe I haven't. Luton is an airport I've kind of not visited that much. I think this is I've only ever flown in and out of Luton once, and it was my second ever live stream was out of Luton, and that was the last time I did it. It's been that long.
Roger.
Right, started cadet monitoring engine number 2. 632 stable, starting now engine number 1.
Alpaca 4 kilo Mike, squawk 2207. Copy 2207.
Head to.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
There's parking brake set.
Disconnecting
All
tow.
pressure
Stand
and N1, waiting for 25%. There we go. Sharkins Racing says, good evening, Captain. Good evening to you. Grant Gallagher, when I go to download the ZIBO mod files, I'm not sure where it's to save it to. I checked my downloads and they aren't there, but it says my Google Drive has more stuff in it. Any help? So, Grant, just to make sure that the ZIBO mod isn't an aircraft. A new aircraft, it's to go on top of the default 737, but there's plenty of guidance online. There could be multiple issues there, which could be causing that. Sean Downs, this is plane free, completely free. It's the single best freeware aircraft available on any simulator. It's a level, level D interpretation of the 73.
Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Cheerio. Yes, that is definitely a wingtip clearance issue. I'd be querying that. If I was taxiing real life, I'd be like, yeah, not happy with that. Oops. Just so I don't delay the pushback much more, I'm going to carry on here with the float, even though we'd wait for the bypass pin. We're going to use wing and anti-ice, engine anti-ice for departure. There's the bypass pin, so flaps. And flight controls. Full forward, full back, and left and right. Here comes the rudders. Oh no, that's no good. It's a good job I checked them. Full right and full left. Recall. Allowed to use blanked, and that's it. Press taxi now.
40,
Thank you very much,
30,
Andy Phillips, for the £5
20,
donation.
10.
Oh my god, goodness me.
Small contribution to the digestive fund.
Thank you very much. Oh dear. Alright, that's Mariner's just going to get plain digestives. I'll get myself some chocolate bourbons. That's my favourite. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Yes, it was about 10 minutes ago, but whenever you're ready, no rush.
Oh dear.
Roger, no worries.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, request taxi.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, taxi, holding point Bravo 7 via Bravo.
Taxi holding point Bravo 7 via Bravo Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. So I have to see how TTG's depicted, but there is Bravo 7 there, so that's our clearance limit there. Lovely, so lights are on, parking brake released, clear left, thanks Jim, clear right, config check. And yes, in real life, if we were taxiing away now, I definitely would be querying this. That's very tight. We'll have a look ourselves. This scenery, guys, by the way, completely free. TDG. One of his most recently updated ones as well. He updated this back in June, July.
Negative.
G-Face on a chocolate bomb and send some this way.
81 Tango Fox, contact with Tower 132.550. 132.550, Alpha Game with Tango Fox.
Cool, it's tight. So yeah, it's fine, but but if I was doing this in real life, I'd want someone there standing there giving me the thumbs up, making sure it's clear. Because it's very difficult when you're in the cockpit to judge wingtip clearance.
Sorry, correction. Alpaca 782 contact Luton Tower 132.550, bye.
Switching to Tower 132.550, Alpaca 782, thank you, bye bye.
Says Bravo 7.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel taxi, only point Bravo 1 via Bravo.
Bravo 1 via Bravo, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. So now we can taxi all the way to the whole point Bravo 1.
Via Echo and Bravo.
Holding point Bravo 1 by Echo Bravo to the Gulf.
So Luton has this sort of,
Scandinavian 16
as someone mentioned, this kind of clockwise or anti-clockwise system. So there's only one way in or one way out of the apron. It's very tight. Limited by, you know, they can't expand this airport because it's built on a plateau already.
Echo 1 via Delta and Echo with the 9 Sierra Papa. Alpaca 40 will make contact with Tower 132.5.
Last time I went to Luton, I actually parked in this multi-storey car park. It's pretty cool. They've actually depicted all the new expansion.
132.55, goodbye.
50, 40, 30, 20.
Thank you
10.
very much, Yanis Augustin Arad. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Cap. Would you need the hydraulic pumps on during walk around? And would PF request ground permission to pressurize them?
Thank you very much for your €5 donation, sir. Excellent question. So yes, during the walk around, one of the first things we do when it's cold dark is to pressurise the electric hydraulic pumps. And that ensures that when you do the walk around, if there's any potential leaks, obviously it's 3,000 psi of pressure, the hydraulic system.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, do you require backtrack?
A negative, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, Able Bravo.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, Roger.
Yeah, we turn the electric hydraulic pumps on. Now, prior to doing that, do you need permission to pressurise it? You don't. However, you need to ensure two things. One, make sure there's a bypass pin installed, okay? Or if there isn't, make sure that there's no tow bar attached, and if there is, make sure there's no one around there, because if you pressurise that and the nose wheel isn't completely straight and the tow bar's attached to it, it's going to...
Contact with Tower 132.550,
Tower 132.550, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. Good evening, sir. It'll snap round and it'll take out anyone's ankles or legs or shins if anyone's there. So yes, bypass pin installed, ideally, which is generally always installed by the ground crew if there's a bypass pin, or if there's a remote stand and there's nothing attached to it, the nose wheel, it's fine to pressurise it. However, another thing you must check, make sure no one's working on the aircraft, because if someone's working on the aircraft, you imagine the elevator or the leading edge flaps might droop. As soon as you put the hydraulics on, bang, they're going to snap into position, and you can say goodbye to your hands, fingers, toes, whatever shouldn't be there, okay, is gone. So yeah, very important that prior to pressurising the system, A, no one's working on the aircraft, B, there's no tow bar attached, and if there is, make sure that bypass pin's installed, which I've never seen one where there isn't, so, but it's very important to check all that. Perfect, thank you very much anyway, Yanis, for your donation. I hope that kind of clears that up for you. And we now need to change over to Tower.
Alpaca 22 Golf, contact with Tower 132.55.
There we go. Perfect, so perfect, it's just a nice amount of traffic here. Sometimes, and you must excuse me, I know some guys are like, oh, can I join the flights? And I love it when you do, and you're always welcome to. But sometimes I notice when I publish a stream 24, 48 hours in advance and I go online, it's so many of you, and I didn't want to overwhelm this already busy VATSIM event, so I might do a few more of these sort of streams where I just start, but if it's a busy airport with multiple runways, I'll continue as we are, but it just keeps the traffic to a kind of a reasonable level. Right, we'll do the before takeoff checklist now. So config, we checked. Flaps we have 5, 5.
Targeting Tomjet 81 Papas with you on the LS from 07.
Green light. Stab trim set for departure, 5.75 units set. So takeoff briefing, packs are auto, bleeds are on, our engine and wing anti-ice on as well. V-speeds are set 39, 40, 48, and the departure is going to be a match 2 Charlie, climbing straight ahead till the Luton ADF or NDB. Going to make a right turn 156 inbound to Brookman's Park, which is this side. Then we're going to make a left turn 083 inbound to Clacton. They're both
50,
active.
40,
5,000 feet
30,
to stop altitude,
20,
which is set
10.
twice. NADP 1 departure.
I am assuming you fly the other side of the pond. Is business getting better from COVID?
Hi David Dillon, thank you very much for the $5. I do. I work for a European airline, and thank you very much for everyone respecting my privacy regarding the operator as well. Not great, David Dillon. So since March, where we had the first lockdown in Europe, there was no flying. Came back flying in July, where compared to a typical summer, I've been flying around 50%. The usual amount. It got a bit busier in August, and now we're currently in the 3rd week of the lockdown in the UK. My last flight was 2 weeks ago tomorrow, and I'm next flying again 2 weeks today. So about 1 flight a month, of which where I'm based, I've been told the passenger numbers for the entire airport are less than 1,000 a day. So this is an airport which would usually serve millions a year. So yeah, not great. I'm very fortunate, as I've mentioned so many times before, just to be able to have kept my job. You know, I had sufficient seniority, especially as I'm a reasonably new captain. I've only been a captain for 2 years, so thankfully all good. And fingers crossed. Certainly in the UK, they're reducing the quarantine period required from countries on the ban list, so long as you have a test. I think within 72. I haven't looked into it enough. 72 hours or so, but yeah, fingers crossed. Turn around for all of our sakes, not just the fledgling aviation industry. But yeah, thank you very much, David Dillon, for your $5. And yeah, otherwise, this is my spare time. I love doing this sort of guys and stuff for you guys, and flight simming. As I've said to all of you before, this is how I started getting into aviation myself, and it's just returning to those roots. And yeah, channel's only 4 years old. I mean, I started making videos way before the coronavirus pandemic, so it's just carrying on with that, and I have a lot more time to do it at the moment. So we'll check in with Tower now. Luton Tower, good evening, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, holding Bravo 1 runway 07, ready for departure in sequence.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, hello.
Perfect. Right. Yeah, we finished the takeoff briefing then, didn't we? So flaps, we briefed the departure. Any problems, we'll climb straight ahead to the MSA, which in the sector to the east is 2,100, so we're kind of 3,000 feet in vectors for another approach.
Alpaca 4 Kilo Mike, via Bravo 19 up from runway 07. Sorry, what was that? Alpaca 4 Kilo Mike, via Bravo 19 up from runway 07.
So he's lining up. I have an MD-80 behind us. What livery is that? Dat? I have no idea what airline that is. Phil Brown, seatbelt sign on. That one I've remembered, but the no smoking switch we can move to on. We'll imagine the cabin is secure. Steve Mayer, boss, how are you finding True Earth with the FPS? Now, what I've had to do, Steve Mayer, right now in the sim, bear in mind I'm running Streamlabs, all the background software, I'm getting 38 FPS. I had to crank down number of world objects to medium. On high, it's around 30, on maximum 25, so usually I have number of world objects on high, but overall, it's fine. I'm very happy with how it looks. And the performance now with Vulcan is
50,
acceptable.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Thank you very much, Chuck Steinmetz for the $4.
Have you been to the Mac Loop?
Oh, thank you very much, buddy. I haven't been to the Mac Loop. No, neither flying GA, because it's all military airspace, I'm pretty sure, and never driven either. It's not a million miles away from where I am, but I would love to perhaps go there when they've got some event going on there, where they're bombing down the valley. But yeah, that's a very well-known videographer, photographer spot for pilots there, which is super cool. But thank you very much, Chuck. I'm sure you, if you haven't been, would love to have go to Mac Loop, see the Mac Loop. Thanks, buddy. Right, so I'm just going to alert Mute the alerts here just for takeoff so I can hear ATC nice and clearly. But, thank you very much,
Alpha 4 Kilo Mike 07, clear takeoff, wind 09 0 degrees, 5 knots. Copy, clear takeoff.
See our colleagues blast off. So we should have ATC at least until we get over the eastern part of the English Channel and over the southern part of the North Sea, and then we have full ATC for the last sort of hour of the sector here. Thanks a lot, David Dillon, for the $5.
For Charlie Hotel behind the departing company 737 via Bravo 1 line up 07 behind.
Line up and wait behind Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel behind the departing traffic. So what I should do is confirm my call sign, because he said 4 Charlie Hotel. We are 7 Charlie Hotel. I'm happy it's me, just for the sakes of desktop simulation. We'll carry on. And we are number 1, but yeah, I should confirm with him. So weather radar on. So MCP is set, transponder is TARA, strobe lights are on, and we're just holding on the takeoff clearance there. David Dillon, thanks a lot for the $5. Sorry to break sterile flight deck again. But your thoughts about the 737 MAX return? I'm personally Airbus fan though. Okay, thanks a lot, David. Well, the Airbus, we love Airbus on this channel. But yeah, the MAX, let's see. I've been holding my cards close to my chest regarding my thoughts on the whole thing. Let's hope it's got a prosperous future, because it's now been tested to destruction, but he asked that the FAA would only release this aircraft on, so I'm sure they're 100% confident this aircraft is completely safe to fly. So yeah, let's see what happens. It's been a... Just get this frequency up, guys. But to read the frequency back, I missed it, 118475 I think. But yeah, it's been a bit, it's been a whole diabolical mess, but hopefully it's all been fixed, and then obviously the whole industry's been exacerbated with COVID-19. But yeah, let's see moving forward. It'll be a great aircraft. Just drink some tea. Do you reckon you'll fly the A340 by Tolis when it's released? Absolutely. Why did you choose VATSIM instead of AFI? I was simply told about the networks. I knew about the networks for years, but when I started using the network, someone suggested just try VATSIM, and now IVAO did email, and I never got back to them actually asking me to use that. Do you want to try out our network? But I don't know the differences between the two really. I'm sure they're both. Well, VATSIM I really enjoy using. It's certainly grown hugely, and it's true to real life, I can tell you. And I'm sure IVAO is the same, but you know, if I'm using one, is there much benefit for me to using the other? I'm not sure. Anyway, let's get going. Runway 07 clear for takeoff, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. Don't ask me why I turned the weather radar off and on, that was just me having finger trouble, but we're ready to go. Get your tokens in chats. There's your timer, look. 40%. Let's now go to a Warsaw Chopin. God, they spooled up very quickly. Right, 40%, engines all stabilised, push toga, set, takeoff, thrust. Light forward pressure on the control column. Looking for 93.1. Now takeoff thrust sets, indications normal.
80 knots.
Checked, release that forward pressure. Here comes V1.
V1,
Up we go, 2 to 2.5 degrees per second. As you can see, we're very much runway length limited. There we go.
Luton Tower, good evening. These are 225.
Here's coming up. And trim.
Bravo 1.
Before we get into... there's not much point doing that view. I can't see anything. Let's jump into the flight deck. So just pitching onto the flight directors. We're going to fly an ADP-1, remember, so we're going to maintain V2 plus 20 until 3,000 feet AGL, so 3,500 feet in this case.
Alpha 7 Charlie Hotel, contact London Control 118.475. Enjoy the street, bye bye.
118475, thanks a lot, buddy. Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, bye now. That was nice.
Easy 38 Quebec Hotel, fly heading 070 degrees.
London Centre, good evening. Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel on a match 2 Charlie, passing 3,200 for altitude 5,000 feet. So we'll bug up now, we'll command and bug up.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, London Control, hello, climb now, flight level 150.
Climb now, flight level 150, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. Do you know what I love about VATSIM and UK controllers? It is precisely as it is in real life. It's just uncanny. Honestly, I had a little shiver down my spine. It just felt like I was back at work. Seriously, guys, it just felt like I was at work. That was really weird, just hearing that guy who's just sounded like London. It's really strange. Right, oh, sorry. Oh, I'm losing the plot here. Right, stay in level change, my bad. So, set standard. Oh, that really made me feel funny. So, flaps up, no lights. There we are. VNAV, standard set. Passing 46 for flight level 150. It looks like we're just about on top of the cloud, but we'll leave the engine anti-ice on for a little longer. You'll see the wing anti-ice is already switched off, and now we'll do the after takeoff checklist. So gear off, water brake off. Uh-oh, look, that's what happens if you don't push in outer to vent. I didn't delete the restriction enough times. Let's clear the MFRA. Right, air conditioning and pressurization 2.2. Climbing. We're all done with the engine anti-ice now. Looks like we're on top of the cloud. So that's all set. We'll release the cabin crew. And that's it. After takeoff checklist complete. All that lovely true earth scenery, guys. Looks fantastic. After takeoff checklist complete. So if we go over to VOR, look. And move over to the VOR frequencies now. You'll see that we're perfectly on the 157 inbound. So what was the reciprocal? I can't remember what it was off the chart. On the 336 radio, you'll see that's perfectly aligned. So if you're routing conventionally, you could still use that here. And then as soon as we get over to Brookman's Park, you'll see this radio come in on this side inbound to Clacton as well. So if I just go here to VOR, there you go. See the radio coming in nicely, so that's why we all have it backed up. Just in case if we have any issues with the FMS, we can actually route conventionally. So yeah, it looks like FPS wise, what are we getting here? Yeah, down to about 30. That will be the true Earth below, sucking up all my resources, but certainly good enough for a continued
London Control, good evening, Easy 135 with 2 flight level 360.
He's loud.
Easy 135, London Control, hello, Tabra 1 Golf arrival, descent flight level 260.
Just turn the sounds down here slightly.
Descent flight level 260.
There we are, passing 105 flight level 150, do the post-cruise checks.
Tabra 1 Golf arrival.
Pre-cruise checks, sorry, so fuel we have...
7 Charlie Hotel, climb flight level 240.
Climb flight level 240, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. 240 is set, so we'll do the pre-cruise checks now. So fuel, we have 6 pumps on, and we've still got 200 kilos in the centre. Lights and the logo lights off. APU is off. Pressurisation 4.5. Climbing. Auto. And set. Release the passengers. Recall. There we are. Pre-cruise checks are complete. Fly off to a number of VATSIM controllers are or trained to be real life controllers. Yeah, I don't doubt that at all. Really impressed with the vast majority of them. The ATC is fantastic. So one of the reasons I chose to fly during the day was so I could enjoy our newly installed true Earth scenery. It is absolutely overcast and clouded over. Oh well. Well, we still have Orpho for the rest of Germany and Poland, but I think it's pretty foggy there too and cloudy. Nicholas F, can you show your route on a map again? Now, I don't actually use the Apple iOS one anymore, but there we are on the chart, inbound to Clacton, which is well off on the distance here. We've just passed 40 miles from Clacton, which you can see here. But don't actually fly over Clacton before we get there. Brain will make our change on route. But yeah, that's it. It's pretty much terminated. And we'll get rid of the charts. Kate Foster, did they fix the pressurisation glitch? ZIBO has allegedly fixed it, so we've got this version here, which is hopefully going to stop the depressurisation. Thankfully, it only seems to happen below 10,000 feet, but hopefully we won't have that issue. We'll try and monitor that closely on the approach.
Area 443, turn right, heading 085.
A little bit of music on.
Control, good evening, Alpaca to the Gulf, passing 4,500 feet.
Yanis, you missed the retractable landing lights. Do you want me to reconfigure the aircraft for you next time we fly the mod? Still have the option for that. Master caution, fuel.
Ryanair 7 Zulu Golf, climb flight level 260.
Now that's interesting. Why are my arrow keys no longer working? Anyone good at fixing bugs? My arrow keys and my num locks just stopped working. Very strange. I've had this happen before, I swear. Literally, like, I am stuck. Thankfully, if I was to be stuck in any view, it would be this one, but I can't actually physically move anything here. How strange. Check Avitab, yes. Thank you.
Alpaca 81 Tango Foxtrot, report you're heading to Amsterdam, radar 125.75.
Thanks guys, I even knew about that one. I didn't even think about checking that. Was that for us?
Okay, Alpaca 782, fly heading 085.
782, I hope it wasn't.
Alpaca 81 Tango Foxtrot, report you're heading to Amsterdam, radar 125.750, bye-bye.
We're heading in that direction, so it is likely to be us, but that was a different Alpaca requested.
Alpaca 81 Tango Foxtrot, London Control.
Is 81 Tango Foxtrot listening in?
Air India 443, report you're heading to Amsterdam, radar 125.750.
Alpha, you flew from Stans to Brayers this morning and accidentally pressed toga switch instead of my autothrottle disengage on approach. It was a mess. Alfie Douglas, you'd make an excellent cadet on a type rating. I've done it during my type rating 10 years ago. Accidentally pushed toga. It's a very common error to make for new people flying the aircraft. I've even done it on a stream, so there you go. Alex, kind of curious about how do pilots get paid based on flight distance time? Is it hourly? How many hours a week do they work generally? Do companies do 8-10 hour work days? It completely varies, Alex, at which company you work at. At my operator we have
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, climb flight level 370.
climb flight level 370, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel.
Ryanair 39 Charlie, climb flight level 210.
So that's set. We have 370s set there once, twice, 3 times, and we're monitoring the distress frequency 1215. Yeah, varies massively. You know, you could be a contractor, so you only get paid for an hourly. Someone's gone. It varies considerably. You could have. I have a kind of like a basic salary, and on top of that, an hourly pay rate. Obviously, it's all been cut back at the moment, as have everyone in the whole industry, pretty much. It varies hugely, like with lots of other sectors. Oh, Tom, explain org stories down. That's no good. Savarish, Alpaca Airlines is growing. It's the huge virtual airline now, unofficial as well.
256. Ryanair 1056, climb flight level 100.
Oh, yellow flight official. I was Alpaca 4 Kilo Mike in front of you, but due to FPS problems I was unable to continue. Sorry to hear about that, buddy. Two tons of love. Finish watching recording F1 qualifying. Totally miscalculated to start the stream. But I don't mind you prioritising that. But I saw what happened already. I don't know if it's going to be I know it's the typical. I won't say because people don't want to ruin it for anyone that's waiting to watch it. But hopefully it wasn't the usual parade.
70 degrees. Climb flight level 150. Fly heading 070 degrees and climb flight level 150. Alpaca.
Pilot Barto flying the ZIBO 737 for a couple of years. Should I buy the 76 or the 75? Yeah, the flight factor by 75. It's not bad. I kind of like it, and I don't know. It's something about it. I don't know. I haven't flown it that recently. I had a lot of performance issues with it personally, but I think it's a good depiction of 75, and I quite enjoy streaming in it. And I was thinking of doing it. I'm thinking of doing another stream very soon, but I wouldn't say it's my favourite add-on, payware add-on. If you're up for it, an awesome aircraft, the recently released Innie Builds A300 for a developer just come straight out of the blocks to say, you know, one of the fantastic aircraft, like really awesome to fly, and they seem to be really active in testing it and getting things fixed and updating, which is great. I'm not much into flight sim politics, but I see a lot of posts by people here, and I think I saw someone say on Reddit this morning about the quality wing 787, how the dev team just don't seem to be communicating with the community. They're not updating it often, which, you know, you think about the ZIBO mod, it's updated, well, it varies depending on his workload. ZIBO's updating it every day. Well, I love these sort of things. I love the fly-by-wire project that's working on Microsoft Flight Simulator, a dedicated team of people looking to improve stuff for free, you know. It's great. I'm going to have to open the office door because it's absolutely roasting in here. Marianne shut it because she was cooking. I hope the AC don't call. Just give me 2 seconds. There we go, I'm back. Honestly, it's like a sauna in here. Got a small office, moved house recently. It's quite a small room. And if you have all the doors closed, the PC, which generates so much heat as well, the radiator, it's getting a little hot in here.
Ryanair 39 Charlie, turn left heading 065.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that true Earth scenery. We'll be back. I want to do some more flights in the UK.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, fly heading 085.
Radar heading 085 degrees, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. Heading select.
London Control, good evening, Ryanair 7 Whiskey Alpha passing 5,000 feet.
Teutons Love still going through the tutorial videos on the A300, trying to get it in the skies tomorrow. Yeah, those videos are great, I use them. And the included documentation, Teutons Love. I mean, I streamed that on 2 sectors for my first ever stream, and the first time I flew it was only 2 days before. But the included amplified documentation, excellent, absolutely brilliant, because not only does it tell you which way to configure the aircraft, it also tells you what you're doing, which is really nice. The guidance included with that is brilliant. Aaron Hastings, poor developer communication seems to be par of the course in flight sim. I have no idea why. Yeah, I mean, I really didn't pay much attention to it, but you know, the last, was that for me? I don't think so. The last year especially, I've kind of really taken notice of what the members say, particularly in Discord. You know, they post things all the time about feedback from developers, and you see things pop up online, and yeah, I see a big disparity between developers sometimes with the products they release and stuff. I think one of the things that shocked everyone, there was a Eurofighter released on Microsoft Flight Simulator a few days ago, and it was absolutely awful. I mean, truly awful. The textures were outdated, and I think the developer just rushed it out there just to, you know, make a few quid sort of thing. But yeah, you see a huge there. But I think the vast majority are there to ensure that you have really, you know, highly accurate, high fidelity aircraft available. So yeah, really interested by the indie builds developer, because they seem great guys, great to communicate. Some are really open to communication. Generally, I don't speak to developers, but certainly recently I've been going out to contact some of them and to, you know, say I'm streaming the aircraft, to, you know, generally to see if they would actually give me a free copy. I don't mind purchasing them at all, because a lot of the donations you guys send, I purchase the aircraft scenery. I want to always do that to ensure that you guys get the best kind of visual experience whilst we're streaming. But a lot of them are really nice, really communicate, really like the, for example, the Blériot we flew last weekend. I contact developer, really excited we were flying the aircraft, and told me all about it, and yeah, it varies, trust me. OX Stuff, is it possible to us to fly the Alpaca Airlines or VATSIM? Absolutely.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, resume navigation direct Redfern.
Oh, navigation direct Redfern, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. So Redfern.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, contact Amsterdam radar 125.750.
Amsterdam 125.750, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. Bye now. So Amsterdam's active, directed to Redfern, execute, LNAV available, and LNAV's engaged. There we go. Amsterdam, good evening, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. Redirect to Redfern, climb flight level 370.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, Amsterdam, good evening, flight to flight level 370.
Climb flight level 370, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. Just every time I check into a different tower, I have to just adjust the volume slightly because they all speak in a. They all have different mics, different volumes there. There we go, that's set. Phil Walker, nice to wake up early in Australia and find there's a stream to watch. What a pleasure. Thank you so much, Phil Walker. And Phil Walker and all my Australian friends, week on Sunday, week tomorrow, I'll be streaming at 7:30 in the morning UK time to attend the Cross the Ditch event. Okay, first time in Australia. We're going to be flying to New Zealand, but I'll be looking out for some more Australian streams. So put that in your diary. It'll be UK time, 7 AM. So what's that in Australia? It'll be 5 in the evening. A great time for you. Going to be streaming in my dressing gown, eating my breakfast. But something I'll be taking part in. Looking forward to that.
Charlie, Amsterdam, good evening. Flight level 3990. Someone navigation direct.
50, 40,
Oh, 345
30,
impromptu stream.
20,
Hello, good day to you.
10.
Thanks again, David Dillon, for the $5.
What is your company's turn time requisite?
Now, David Dillon, lovely choice of words there. Are you referencing the turnaround, turn time requisite? Are you referencing turnaround? Now, without giving too much away, I'm not going to disclose that, but it's reasonably quick turnarounds. We don't like to hang around, but it's all done in a set amount of time, and we try our best to do it. Sometimes it's quite difficult with 95% of it's out of our control, but I think that's what you're referring to. I'll try and keep an eye out. You are referring to that, David. Yes, so yeah, less than an hour, let's say, but it's all doable as long as everything falls in place. It's a complex cog, so we need obviously ground staff to be on our side, ATC to be on our side, weather to be on our side, passengers to be on side. And once all those cogs fill in together, it works really nicely. Why 345 said it nice. It depends how quickly the snacks coffee order arrives, I guess. Oh, Devil, what's the date for the 7 AM stream? I didn't see it. So a week on Sunday. So that would be the 6th of November.
Amsterdam radar, Air India 443. Air India 443, Amsterdam.
And there we are. 37,000 feet, guys. Inbound to Thatcher.
414, no problem. Report back with you. Report back. Thank you. Air India 443.
Just show you where we're going, guys. So we are. Over the North Sea at the moment. We'll be right over the top of Amsterdam, Holland, Germany. Hamburg's around here, just to the north. Berlin's around there. Then we're crossing into Poland. And then the capital of Poland, obviously Warsaw, will be descending there. But remember as well, as I've said many times, we're running the stream 6 hours behind live time. So obviously the local time in the UK now is 18:46 as opposed to 12:46 Zulu. Just so we can enjoy a nice bit of daylight.
Kilo 566, you said flight level 100, 100.
Yellow Knife Official, do you have any tips for FPS gain? I struggle with 35 to 40, lots of stutters, but when I get to VATSIM populated places I get 23 to 24, so I struggle when I get stutters because of VATSIM's 20 FPS. I remember you saying in voice chat in the server a few days ago you were having issues here. Now I think you're a bit limited by your system performance. Have a chat with Captain Monster in Discord, because I think he has similar specs to you. You do have to sacrifice performance in ways in your settings or something here. Now my PC isn't by far, isn't the most powerful here. It's about 3 years outdated. I know there's far more powerful CPUs and graphics card available, but for flight sim you can get very good performance out of it. My specs in the video description below for those of you who are interested. Obviously bear in mind I only run one PC, so this one PC is running X-Plane, Streamlabs, which is what I use to stream to you guys right now, X-Pilot, Active Sky, Sim Toolkit Pro at the top, and I do purposely shut down as much in the background as possible as well, so to ensure that it's a reasonably reduce the resources on PCs. But I'm not a PC expert here, but it's all it's a custom built PC from Chill Blast. It's called the Aero Destiny 2. It's discontinued now, but it's been a fantastic PC since I got it just over 2.5 years ago. What's the weirdest passenger you've flown with today, Yaffe? Well, I haven't had any weird passengers. I've had disruptive passengers before.
Actually, Ryanair 7 Zulu Golf report to indicate a block number.
2 tons of love. Thanks a lot for sharing the meta. Interesting there, look. 3106, light showers of snow, broken at 800, 1 degree. It'll be interesting to see how snow's depicted next play. I don't think we've ever had snow on a stream before. Now this is where I sort of wish we were using Microsoft Flight Simulator for that, so I think it would look awesome. Now I'm just looking at Warsaw. There's plenty of traffic also leaving both Modlin and Chopin. I really like these VATSIM events where they do it in 2 directions. It really splits up the traffic, which is great. Hi Treble, how are you? Those who are new to the stream, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Mariana, my partner who helps me run the channel. How are you? What are you making? Making cheesecake with Nutella and Ferrero Rocher and digested biscuits you made me to go pick up before the stream. Oh yeah, you made me try to pick them up. I know you picked it up. Oh no, did you show the picture? So basically Mariana went to the shops, I emptied the dishwasher, I opened it and a mug fell on me and I smashed it. My favourite mug, which has the letter S on it, for Sim. I love Sims. So yeah, I had the letters AA for Alpaca Airlines. All she's loitering around for, she wants to play Among Us on my PC, that's all she wants to do. Cade Foster, is Jack in the cockpit today? Would you like me to get Jack for you? He's probably asleep, isn't he? Let's turn the ATC down a tad. Ricardo, what flight level are we cruising? We already had our cruise level, flight level 370. Hi Jack. Come here then. Up, up. Come on. Up. No. Come on then. Come on. Up. Yes. There he is. Oh boy. You wish you had a camera now, do you guys, watching? Did you hear that, guys? He just yawned and licked the mic. Cade Foster, yes, please, I feel better when he's in pilot monitoring. Facing, can we play Among Us today? It's pretty busy. I've got ATC for the entire sector, so not today. Inbound for North flight level 60. If you win the quiz, you could get a new bug. Yeah, as well said Craig Scott. Record estimated time en route. If you look here at the top there, you should see estimated time en route. But bear in mind that is as the crow flies. So we obviously need to slow down, descend, probably turn there. So probably add. This is the proximate en route time. I don't know, around 10 minutes now. So around an hour and 40 from now, we should be touching down. If there's no delay, which I don't anticipate it to be super busy because the event's going in 2 directions.
Take the call sign. Ryanair 72 Echo Amsterdam, hello. Proceed direct to no-go. November Oscar Golf Romeo Oscar.
Erica, this is perfect.
KLM 566, could you please advise whether Papa Alpha Mike is a VOR or NDB and the frequency of Papa Alpha Mike?
Pamplona, it's a VOR.
I cannot recall the frequency by heart.
Yeah, ATC won't know the solar, the VHF VOR frequencies. Now the FMC and the real aircraft, and I think both the PMDG and the ZIBO Mr. Seacher, if you go to index nav data, this is new. ZIBO, you legend! Where did you add this? Oh my goodness, I didn't even realise this. So if you go, guys, to index, nav data, you can type in on this page, and I had no idea it was actually working now. ZIBO, where did you add this little gem? And you can type in any 3-letter identifier in the database. So for example, Pamplona. Papa Alpha Mike. Or Pamplona NDB. Sorry, I said it was a VOR, I said NDB. Look. 422. ZIBO, you absolute
30,
legend.
20.
I had no idea how that.
When your other half leaves, is pilot life really as wild as rumoured?
Did you hear that, Mariana? When your other half leaves, is pilot life really as wild as rumoured?
Yes, they bring clocks.
Not this one, David Dillon. I just basically stream or play Xbox at the moment. That's what I've been doing the last 6 months since lockdown started. Oh dear. Mo Madden New, is this the real 738? Absolutely, yeah. That's why I was referencing it. So index, nav data. I mean, let's think of another one. Clacton, which we passed over. Ah, that's interesting now. Navigate ident. Are they the correct ones? It should come up with the should come up there with the frequency there though. Don't know what that shouldn't be blank, I don't think. But yeah, it seems to be working. Airport ident, I don't think so either. Honestly, off the top of my head, it's not a page we generally reference, but you can use this to punch in to get frequency. So, for example, well, let's try this one, Oscar Sierra November. But this never used to be featured. Yeah, look, it's now no longer bringing the frequency in. Oh, probably needs a bit of work. So you saw that, guys, didn't you? How it brought up the frequency options. It's not doing that now. That is correct, but now it's just bringing the position, the magnetic variation. Probably needs a little bit of work, or maybe it only works once. You've got to put more coins in it. But it seems to be there. Alfie Douglas, were you ever nervous when you first became a captain, as you were now PIC of the 738? Yeah, Alfie. Of course. I think there's a little bit of apprehension and nervousness. And on the day of my command upgrade line check, it's very stressful. I'm not going to. There's no denying that. You know, you're being assessed on your performance as a commander. I did over 4 sectors, and things that only ever happened on checks happened for me. You know, I had one of the reversers was inoperative as a defect. Which is very rare to have defects, but they sometimes happen, and we consult a manual called the MEL to make sure the aircraft is serviceable. And the weather wasn't the best, but it all went out well, so that was very nervous. And then my first flight I did about a week later. And for your first few hours as a captain, you're quite restricted in your destination, so you can't go to any tricky destinations. You can't fly visual approaches, so you'd have to find somewhere else. There's a few limitations.
50,
but yeah,
40,
it's you
30,
get better over time.
20,
get more confident over time with that. And you, as I've said many times before, you never stop learning. Never stop learning.
Seriously, can you explain the beam direction from ATC and demonstrate it on here?
And thanks, David Dillon, for the $5 donation. Again, don't need to donate every time to ask a question. I am trying my hardest to keep an eye on chat, but thank you very much nonetheless. Now, it's unusual for ATC to clear you to say, let's be a beamer point. They'll only ever tell you generally to route direct to a waypoint here. Now, what ATC might do, which is a little bit more common, is in descent, if there's a restriction. Now, let's imagine we're on a vector, and ATC said, okay, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, descend to be level, flight level 190, a beam bimper. What I would do is go to Bimper, I go to the fix page, and it's not working. Okay, well you should be able to select a beam, and that will give you your position, radial, from your existing position off the radial, and your distance. It will give you all of that there. Then you go to the legs page, you can then actually punch that in the legs page. That's what I do there, but I don't know if that's exactly working in the mod. Maybe because we're too far away, but that shouldn't be an issue in the real thing. So that's the best way of doing it. It's actually utilising the fix page. You don't even have to do that. If you simply stick the waypoint in the fix page, and that will depict it on the ND, and then you can just see where it is and use heading select. That's a little bug. Can you see that, guys? Look, you see the little heading pink lines there? That shouldn't be there. That should be completely clear. So obviously it illuminates pink, then goes out. You can see, look, once it goes out, you can still actually see it quite faintly. Yeah, I see the little pink dash line. So that's new. So yeah, I hope that makes sense, David.
Thank you. 1308.
One for you, Mariana, from Wilhelm. Can I request some gravel strip operation with the 737-200, which is certified to operate on gravel in the future? Tell your captain about that. I'm here. I'm here, Wilhelm. Yes, I think a milk run in the 200 with the gravel kit wouldn't be too far amiss, would it? I don't think there is one, unfortunately, available by FlyJSim, but we can imagine we're doing some of those sectors. Oh, that's very kind, David Dillon. My day is not to get my car ready. I just wanted to date this more. That's very kind, David. Thank you. Jonathan's board, Shai, do you know there's a fix for the panel distortion that happens with ZIBO MOD and all the other planes and explain that makes the panel tilt forward? No idea about that, John Tannis. Poor Pone, maybe it's burned LCD pixels. I don't think that's an issue. That's the issue. Rory Heap, good evening to you as well. I still sat on your email. Do excuse me because I get so many in there. Rory Heap, ladies and gentlemen, is one of our regular subscribers who's blind and he just really enjoys listening into the stream. So say hello to Rory Heap for everyone here. That'd be awesome. And he's in his 70s, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Tobias, your target landing rate today is -98. That'll take us exactly to a butter average in November. As if you worked that out, Tobias. Thank you. Fiona Mayer is in the house. Good evening, all. Welcome to Fiona. The wife of one of our members who won the giveaway in the Valerio 11 last weekend. Absolutely brilliant. Fantastic.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, contact London radar 135650. Bye bye.
135650, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. Bye now. Here's Lagan. 35650. There we go. Lagan Gunab to Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, maintaining flight level 370 inbound to Oscar Sierra November.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, London radar, good evening, quiet identified.
Perfect, so he's a quiet one. Crank that volume up again. Lovely. No, top of descent, still 480 miles away, so over an hour. It's quite a long sector today. We generally we've been doing quite short 2-sector streams recently, an hour each way. But I quite like these slightly longer legs, a lot more relaxing. Plenty more time to chat and have a chat here. So Rory Heap, you're getting loads of messages in at the moment. From Mariana and Lars is saying good evening. Hope everything is well for you. Brilliant. Renew reviews. How do you determine the auto brake to use? We'll calculate all that later on. I say always. 95% of the time we always do full briefings, including landing performance. So we'll discuss all that later, and we can actually have a little chat about something called the Talpa matrix, or something's known as takeoff and landing performance assessment, because we are forecasting snow, and what we have to do if the runway is contaminated is work out our braking action, and it's a very, well, I say very complicated. It's been simplified in recent years because one of the most common aviation incidents in commercial aviation is what we call runway excursions. That's aircraft going off the side or the end of the runway. And the Talpa matrix was introduced a few years ago. Don't quote me on this, but I think the FAA sort of designed and built this, and it was kind of used now by most airlines. And essentially the Talpa matrix is a way, just calculating the braking action. So you look at what the contamination is. There's certain contaminations where we can use it for takeoff and landing. If it's a loose contaminant, we can't use it. If it isn't, we can. It sounds very complex if you don't know how, but I'll try and talk about it a little bit more later in detail once we get an actual braking action, or the weather conditions, let's say, for Warsaw Chopin. All it is to work out what the braking action is. With that braking action, it could be medium, medium poor, medium good, and then we can work out our landing performance there. Well, there is a gravel kit in the org score. You have to place it in yourself, and the plane maker is easy and looks very good. So that's really interesting, Wilhelm. I'll look into that. Water, please. Thank you. Alfie Douglas, one more question. What does it mean when ATC asks for a restriction on conversion? So what that's referring to, Alfie Douglas, is in the cruise we're maintaining a Mach number. So right now, ATC would ask you your speed. They wouldn't be referencing the indicated airspeed. It would be the Mach number. And as we descend and maintain a fixed Mach number, our indicated airspeed increases to the point where ATC, for traffic reasons, would like you to maintain a specific speed. So ATC might say to us, stay Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, descend to flight level 180, on conversion main speed 280 knots. So what I do, I initially descend at decimal 77, and as the indicated airspeed increases, reaches 280, would switch to maintain that speed instead of indefinitely flying at 77, because your indicated airspeed would increase.
1243, descending flight level 170 for 100.
Okay, 1243, absolutely wrong frequency.
Oops, Dave Dylan was working on your PPL but had an amputation of part of my hand, so Dreamer flight is no longer in range. Love it though, so sorry to hear that, David. Jeebus. That's awful, man. But I hope you can at least enjoy desktop simulators, because they are incredibly good now.
That's the correct one. Okay,
it's
1423,
representative flight in real life. I mean, I pretty much follow real-world SOPs based off my operator to the letter, and it works flawlessly in the sim.
Good evening, Ryanair 39 Charlie with your climbing 410. Ryanair 39 Charlie, land radar, hello, identified.
Stuff, what are your thoughts on whether a Sirius Simmer could land a 737 or not, either using automation or hand flying? That's been asked a lot, not recently. Yeah, automation, I'm pretty confident you can manipulate that to get the aircraft to an auto land, or at least to a position where to attempt a landing. Would it actually came to manually flying an aircraft and landing an aircraft like this, it wouldn't be pretty with someone with no experience. Honestly, it takes time to, even when you join or start flying an aircraft like this from your instrument rating, it takes some time to convert from a piston-powered aircraft to a commercial jet airline, and it works very differently. I think you could have a good crack at it. And I've always said this, and I always quote it, the biggest issue you'd have when jumping into the flight deck was being able to know how to move the seat forward to reach the controls. That would be your number one issue. But yeah, I'd be confident in most of my subscribers who watch this of setting up the automation to get it to at least a position where you can fly the aircraft. And if you ever find yourself doing that, which I don't think has ever happened in recent commercial airline history, put the headset on from the deceased flight crew and to talk to ATC. Make sure you have a frequency here. It should be active. If not, you know this one works, 1 to 1.5. You can put that there as well. Make sure this is on for the active frequency. So this mic selector here is controlling this radio. If you wanted to use the second radio, this one, you select mic selector 2. And to talk to ATC, there's a little switch here. There's 2 switches. There's one on the control column, which is the one we use 99% of the time, just here. There's 2 switches on a rocker switch. The top switch is the intercom to talk to ATC. Sorry, the bottom switch is the intercom to talk to the ground crew. The top switch is the RT switch to talk to ATC. Or alternatively, flick this switch, which is it's 3 positions. It's spring loaded to the middle position from RT, or it is magnetically held in intercom. Just hold it forward to RT, and then you can talk to ATC. So yeah, if you ever find yourself there and you need help, that's the way of doing it. Wilhelm, I can send you a link to you via Instagram and to an interesting video about gravel strip operations. Most of the gravel strips on the stopping limit of the 732. Very cool. Well, I'd happily look at the link for the thing to add to the FlyJSim 737-200, that would be cool. And I'll take a look at the video as well. But I don't know if you messaged me before, Wilhelm Glanes. I'm currently sitting on around 200 plus message requests on Instagram, so I'll try and fish through them to find your message. Oxtuff, yeah, I hope you never have to apply my advice. Rory Heap, do you ever tilt your chair at home to simulate climbing and descending? I don't, Rory Heap, I don't. I could if I wanted to, but I have a very comfortable chair, and I always it's a secret lab chair, which the members of my channel very kindly bought for my birthday. And it's got back support to the head support. It's really comfortable. Oh, yeah. So here we are, about to cross into Germany from Holland, about to go over Osnabrück, which is where we're directly routing to Hanover, Magdeburg, Berlin, crossing the Polish border, and here is our destination. Warszawa. If you're Polish, how do you pronounce this? It's not Warsaw, is it? It's pronounced Warszawa. I'm so sorry. I can't. Oh dear, my pronunciation's a lot to be desired there. Chris, has COVID introduced some changes in your sim training program, the one that you have every 6 months? Do you still do all the procedures as before? Has something changed? Excellent question, Chris. So no, nothing's changed. You're still required to keep current, and also to do 3 takeoffs and landings every 90 days, and they will assign you additional sim time to doing that. I'm flying on average every 3 to 4 weeks at the moment, enough to ensure that I do my 3 takeoffs and landings every day. But yeah, still having to come in for your OPCs and LPCs. Thankfully, I'm all up to date. I'm all good to go for my next check, which won't be until February, March, when my instrument rating is up for expiry, and I'll have to do my LPC to renew it. Modraz, you're not that bad. Your R is a bit bad, but it's really hard to say if you're not from Poland. Thank you. It's Warszawa. The controller always says it. When you go to Warsaw, they always say Warszawa. Cristiano Helicopter just signed up for PPL training last month. I wanted to say thank you for introducing me to this wonderful world. That's awesome, Cristiano, and obviously welcome to flight simming, and I'm glad that's actually inspired you to go and get your private pilot's license. A few people are following, you're following a few people in their footsteps, so that's awesome. Chris, and do you expect some training for Max soon? We are planning on getting the Max, and yes, I think there'll be, no one knows yet what will be involved. There will be some additional training when it's a simulator session. It'll be a lot more than it was before, that's for sure. So we'll see you then. Warszawa. Thanks, Christoph. Another Alpaca on frequency. Very cool.
Alpaca 2 Whiskey Lang Radar, hello, identified.
VATSIM Sports Cycling Club. Hello. It's 250 knots. You're flying the real airspeed for cruising with the plane, or is it just because of X-plane? No, there's nothing wrong with X-plane. That is nothing wrong with anything. That's exactly the indicated airspeed we are flying at. As you increase your altitude, the air density decreases. Okay, so there's less air molecules going through the pitot tube, so conversely your true airspeed increases. This is the actual speed through the air, but what we're actually importing for navigation is your ground speed, which is essentially taking your headwind into account. So this is 100% correct. Our speed at sea level is obviously much higher, represented essentially by our ground speed, but we are moving at 250 knots indicated airspeed. It's 100% correct. AFE, when I get my license, which company do you recommend? Charter, private jet stuff, or commercial? AFE, if you've just finished your flight training, or when you do finish your flight training, just take anything that's available, even if it means moving country. And I've said this before, I was attempting, or would have happily have moved to the other side of the world for my first airline job, and this was back in 2010 when I finished my flight training.
If you started flying the MAX, would you be faux?
Thanks a lot, Thomas the Breaker, for your £3. Would I be the foe? Nope, you stay in the left-hand seat. It's going to be a common type rating. I'll just have to do whatever conversions necessary now with the new Max coming out, which I don't think will be too much. And I will still remain in the left-hand seat. Thanks, Thomas the Breaker. FS777, I've seen people asking you to fly an IVO. I've been on an IVO during 4 years and I switched to VATSIM, and VATSIM is far more realistic. Fair enough, FS777, but I've heard very good things about IVO. It's just that, you know, I've all set up on VATSIM, you know, and I don't know why I'd use another network, and that's nothing against the guys at IVO at all, because I'm sure they run a great network there, but I just use VATSIM because it's the one I was told to advise to use, and I've left the network since. There was a brief period of time where we had a few issues with not VATSIM but people, but they've got things in place now to prevent that from happening. Oh, that was for us. Sorry, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. Say again.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, Bremen 128.75.
128.75, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. Choose.
Germanwing 7061, proceed direct Whiskey Sierra November.
Bremen radar good and armed to Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, maintaining flight level 370 inbound to Osnabrück.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, Bremen radar identified.
Lovely. So we're now at Bremen. XE Huck, I'm a helicopter pilot from the US Army, and honestly looking at planes gives me a headache. I don't think I can figure out for the life of me. Helis are more digital. Okay, XE Huck, thanks for commenting. But helis are more digital, right. Yes, big difference between the two. I have had some helicopter lessons in a Robinson R22 for about 4 hours, and it took me some time to convert over, and it felt very unusual. I've never really noticed the difference in digitalization. Is that a word? I don't know. The R22 is pretty basic. Wilhelm, your juice sounds better every day. Captain Bagoff, quick question for my own personal interest. How old are you, and for how long have you been flying? I'm in my very early 30s, Captain Bagoff, and I started flying gliders in 2005. Flew solo on my birthday in 2006, so because I possibly could. Private pilot's license in 2008, passed that, and then took a kind of gap year, saving up as much money as I could to fund my flight training. My parents agreed to take out a loan, secure against the house, but I'd have to pay for my living expenses, which I saved. And I started my commercial or integrated flight training in 2009, finished in 2010, and joined my operator end of 2011. And been flying, yeah, I say for 10 years, it's 9 years, so I've been flying the 73 for 9 years. That's it, that's me anyway. Cool, well, let's have a little look here, see if there's any seat. I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break, guys. Just to check where the next FIR boundary is. Should be with Bremen for a short while, so I'm just going to ask for a quick 5-minute break, and I'll leave you in stapler view. I'm imagine your mum and dad must be so proud. Well, yeah, my father passed. I say my mum and dad. My father passed away when I was quite young, 9-10 years old. But my mum's very proud. I'm sure my stepdad is. With an interesting relationship, but anyway, I don't want to spill on beans on that. But yeah, I'm very pleased with everything and how we went. Guys, anyway, yeah, I'm just going to ask ATC.
Good
to have a
evening,
quick break.
Ryanair 39 Charlie with your flight level 410.
Ryanair 39 Charlie, Bremen radar identified.
Bremen Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotels. Right, if we just nip out for 5 minutes.
7 Charlie Hotel, sorry, second.
Just nip out for 5 minutes.
Yep, roger.
That's right, I'll call you back, thank you. Perfect, thanks a lot for that, guys. I'll just go take a quick 5-minute break, and we'll continue the journey shortly. If you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to smash the thumbs up. Only 300 likes, which is very sad. And, about just over an hour away from Warsaw, and I'll see you all in about 5 minutes or so. Cheers.
From the 5 Charlie Papa, contact arrival 131325, choose. I'm making 131325. Choose. No worries. Einer Vorwand Quebec Juliet, Contact Langenräder 13565 vorbei. India 443 Bremen. India 443 Contact Bremen Radar 123225 vorbei. Oregon 56 Hotel Contact München Radar 133225 vorbei.
123225. You're moving smart, social.
Make sure it's 133225.
133225. You're moving fast, social. Okay, but.
Aber die Freiburg war mein Contact Langenräder 127725, tschüss.
127725. Radar, Nada, Bravo, India, South Hotel,
Also man auf Bravo, den Radar identified.
Radar Radio, very good evening. Package to go, flight level 330.
Alpha Cat to go, den Radar identified.
Evening, sir. That's the one with Alpha inbound Hotel Lima Zulu, signal 3990.
Understood. Whiskey Alpha, Brem Radar, who identified.
Bremen Radar, good evening. Evening 36 Tango, flight level 360 inbound Bravo.
Easy 36 Tango, Brem Radar, who identified.
Thanks a lot for that, guys. Nicely refreshed. Just catching up here with chat.
Charlie, it seems that you're walking standby, is that correct?
CA97, where could I get... Ooh, that's a TA. Where's he? So I say I had a crash on... crash on V.
Thank you.
Oh, there he is, look. It's a bit close. It's a Nigel. In his jumbo. You stay over there, mate.
Bremen Low Transavia 63 Foxtrot, flight level 340 inbound Trekken.
Oh, Transavia.
Transavia 63 Foxtrot, Brem Radar, final one identified.
Better tell him we're back, actually. Ogstuff, did you see the recent viral glider video? I did. Whoa, that was really sketchy. Outback 7 Charlie Hotel, we're back. Thanks a lot for that.
Thank you.
I did, yeah. Who's seen that glider video? They basically got themselves a little bit disorientated in IMC. And, yeah, very lucky to get out of that. Now, it just kind of shows you, you know, flying general aviation or glider where you're not given instrument flight training. And I don't think they even had a... Did they have an artificial horizon? Not sure. I mean, you can so quickly get yourself disorientated. You don't know which way's up, which way's down, which way's left, which way's right. And they were so lucky. I mean, you can only see part of that ground coming into view.
About Hotel Lima Zulu.
Yeah, I'll try and find that video. See if I can play it in here for you to see. No, they didn't, Cristiano Perrin. That's probably why. Yeah, they kind of need an artificial horizon. That's your basic instrument for flying an IMC. Oh yes, Kate. Oh my goodness me, David's just bought a mug. Oh, that made me jump that thing as well. What have you said, David? Oh, please, can I read this? Want to send you the money to replace your broken mug? Oh, thank you very much. That's very, very kind of you. Well, I hope you enjoy, David, your mug. And I'll use that funds to get myself a new mug, the one I smashed. One of my favourite mugs as well. Just before the stream, but it's very kind of you, David. Thank you. Yeah, sketchy video. I'll try and find it so we can play it in the stream. Jim is flying now, seatbelts on. Marion has said someone commented about biscuits.
November 732 Kilo Alpha, direct Delta Victor 483.
Rory, he'll probably come back with a mouthful of digestive biscuits. It was tempting, but the problem is you'd hear me crunching on that, which is great for your your ears. Roy Heap, no artificial horizon according to Mental Pilot. You know what, I might... would you guys like to see that video? I mean, I'm a professional YouTuber. I know how to... I think I know how to put a video in the stream. But it's certainly an interesting video and teaches you the importance of how you must not get yourself in IMC if you're not trained, if you don't have any sort of instrument flying experience. Let's see if I can use my internet skills to streaming skills to get that video up.
Ryanair 99 Alpha Bravo with you 370. Ryanair 99 Alpha Bravo, Brem Radar, hello, identified, report your Mach number. Point 098.
Found it.
Ryanair 99 Alpha Bravo. Confirm 0998. Affirm 098.
So if I do this, and then add this as a link.
0798. Okay, Roger, then reduce decimal 7-8 or less. Reducing 7-8, you almost caught up.
Sorry about the adverts. that's really annoying. Yeah, have a look at this, guys. This is beyond sketchy.
Alpha Bravo, reducing 7-8.
UTR 103
agreement 123.95.
John Lewis, yeah. Other things available. Other shops available, and also other virus software available. Right. Have a look at this. So look, there's no. You can see their instrumentation, pretty basic. Just turn the music off. And they just get themselves into a little bit of IMC. And this just. 123-225, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, bye.
Yeah, please make it 123-225.
123-225, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, bye now. Probably said something else.
That's confusing tonight, bye-bye.
Jeez. Everything's confusing for me when I'm streaming. Right, there we go. Let me just tune up with the frequency and then we'll watch this incident, let's say. Oh, what, is there an expletive, is there? Okay, yeah. I'll try and hide that bit then. Well, I'll mute it at least. Radar, good day, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, maintaining flight level 370 inbound to Subic.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, Bremen, hello, radar contact.
Thank you. Right, yeah, well in that case I'll play the video.
Yeah, 932, contact Warsaw.
But I'll mute it, because I do try and keep it PC here, no bad language. So you can just about hear it in the background. So you can see, look, they're VMC here. They've got that. The most important thing is that you have a view of the horizon, so you can see wings level where that is. But as soon as you lose that view of the horizon, with no instrumentation, with such an artificial horizon, which is the most important of all the instruments to ensure that you're straight and level, you can quickly get yourself disorientated. So you'll see here. I'll just skip forward a little bit here. Point where they go IMC, so you can see, look, they've still got the horizon here with the clouds, still okay, but they're getting themselves into a little bit of a sticky situation here where they can't get out of it, essentially. There's no gap here. And, you know, I'm not going to criticise these guys. You know, yes, they made an awful mistake getting in this thing. Well, I'm not going to criticise them yet. They screwed up, but you know, it could have happened to anyone here. Now they're getting themselves into a very dangerous situation now. Look, they can no longer see the horizon. There's no way out of the IMC, and now they're in complete IMC. Okay, and now they don't know where the horizon is, so they could be turning left, turning right. Look at the altimeter. You can see the altimeter now is quickly decreasing. The airspeed is also stagnating, but the now look at the altitude now. Quickly going down. Look at the ground. Okay, and this isn't the end of it yet. They still don't know where that is. Pulling up that. Look at that. How lucky we're there. There's so much G being pulled that the camera's rolled round, and you can see in this view, look at the ground coming back into view, just in case, because I think I think the noise that comes out of their mouth here. Now wait, they're still in IMC, so they're still not out of the IMC conditions here. Still in cloud. Look at the ground come into view. Look at this. Look at this. Wait for it.
Alpaca 782, contact Warsaw on 134, decimal 875.
Look at that. Can you see that? Look. Oh, scary. Scary. I mean, that's just the first part there. Look, I mean, they were pulling so much G. Look at the ground. Look, the ground comes to view, just pulls back on the stick really quickly. So yeah, awful. Really. You know, screwed up massively. Do not get yourself, if you're in your PPR, into a situation like that, especially if you're gliding, because you can't power out of it, especially in a PPR. And I, thankfully, never found myself in IMC when I had my private pilot's license. You know, I always kept well clear of it, because you don't, A, it's scary, and B, you don't have the training to fly in these situations. You know, the importance of flying and using your instruments, it's so important there. Anyway. There you go. Yikes! I hope they bought a change of clothes. I know. But yeah, that went viral very quickly. I think loads of people shared the video. Anyway, back to the nice relaxing music. Aaron Hastings, are clouds inherently bumpy to fly through? Yeah, they are, Aaron. You very rarely find clouds which are completely smooth. Mostly stratus, but any cumulus-based clouds, always a little bit of turbulence associated with that. Captain, back off, we're the same age. My dad's a CFI, trained me on our Cessna and later upgraded to a Carbon Cub, finished my PPR in 2009 in San Antonio, Texas. Now flying the 320 for a big EU airline. You're my man. Awesome. Sounds like we're kind of parallels. We might have even crossed paths at some point there. Yeah, thanks for reminding me that there were expletives in that video. So like, it's one of my earliest streams where the engine failed, which I actually deleted. It was blurring left, right, and centre. Right. How far have we got now? It's 249 miles, so we've got about 40 miles from top of descent. Still over the middle of Berlin, that's where we started, so yeah, about halfway. Get the charts at least up here. What's going into Hanover? We haven't streamed to Hanover yet, I don't think. It's a bit before uniform. 34875 up, okay, 1 Tango Foxtrot. So that's the arrival we're expecting. Typical of pretty much every arrival you find now. And likely to be ILS 33, not necessarily, but based off the forecast wind, we're planning from that one. So ILS Zulu for 33, we'll go with that one. And we'll take an airport chart and an airport chart.
Good evening, package to Golf, flight level 330.
Perfect. Right, let's get a little look at the weather here.
Alpaca 22 Golf, Bremen Ado identified.
So we're going to EPWA. So let's grab the METAR. That engine failure is still your greatest stream. Thanks, David Smith. It's deleted now, it's gone. MS, hello Captain, if something goes wrong at Warsaw, I can invite you to Echo Papa Lima Lima's Wutch, I think, isn't it, MS? Hopefully no issues. Clapstone, hi Captain, would you recommend to start attending a flight school at this particular historic moment? I would say no, Clapstone. We've discussed this quite a lot recently. It's going to take at least a year or two for the backlog of trained pilots who have just come out of flight training. Not even that, the pilots with thousands of hours of experience who obviously will look more attractive to any prospective employer. So yeah, it'll be wrong for me to say it's a good time to start flight training. It would be completely wrong for me to say. Now, I'm not saying don't give up on your dreams, because it is very likely things will improve. There are some sort of glimmers of hope with the upcoming vaccines, but we're still not out the woods yet with the aviation industry. So yeah, if you're thinking of starting flight training next 2 months, I'd recommend doing something else. And I saw a really nice post on LinkedIn the other day by it's a show in the BBC called Dragon's Den, which is basically a lot of entrepreneurs who invest money in smaller companies. They're all, you know, very successful businessmen and businesswomen. And one of them made a really nice post about his first ever job, which was at McDonald's. Just sort of saying, you know, McDonald's is sort of viewed as you know, as a low-skilled, low-paid job, but it's a starting point, and he started there, and a lot of people work within those companies and are very successful in those companies as well. And my first ever job, I sold chickens at a supermarket, at a local supermarket. And if I was in that position now, I finished flight training, going straight into this pandemic, I would have delayed my flight training, kept that job, stayed in that job, because not only was it a job which earned me money, you know, back then when I just finished school, it taught me a lot of those kind of basic life skills, you know, such as teamwork, responsibility, meeting deadlines and targets. And I say this because as an instructor working my airline teaching type ratings, I can tell a difference between those very few individuals who haven't had a job, really, and I say this loving the chicken emojis, by the way. There's a big difference between a student, I'm not saying this in a mean way, but there are some people who are very fortunate where their parents have paid everything, you know, everything's been handed to them on a silver platter, and you see that not all the time, but a lot of these people, that kind of shines through on them, and these people come straight out of school, straight into working their first airline, and they're lacking some of those basic core skills. And I can tell you what now, as an employer or an airline, it doesn't matter if you've got your qualifications, that's fine, but you know, if you've just got your GCSEs, you might be the brightest person in school, but that's not necessarily what they're looking for. They're looking at someone. Are you a team player? Are you hardworking? They loved it. They love the fact that you've been working a frontline job like that. They love that fact. And I worked 3 years at Morrison's selling chickens, and I made great friends. I learned all the basic life skills, what it's like to get a job, worked silly hours at the time, and had I not done that, you'd learn those skills. So yeah, it was a really nice post. I can't remember what the Garth Dragon's Den was, but he found his original McDonald's badge. He was just stressing to everyone, look, job's a job, and I had minimum wage for 3 years doing that, but yeah, it taught me everything I needed to move forward. We gone off on a divergence. I can't even remember what the original question was now. It's CA97 from flight training. Yeah, really went off on a tangent there, but these are important things to take on board. Simon Zav says, greetings from Poland, good day to you. Other supermarkets, chicken supplies are available. You're quite right, Siraj B. Just drink some tea, but can you carve a turkey? I'm useless at carving a chicken. Like, one of the things I hated when I was at work all these years ago is when someone asked for half a chicken. I was like, gosh darn it, I've got to now cut. Well, thankfully I only had to cut it in half, and I used to have like a big pair of scissors, just go whoop, straight down the middle. But carving a chicken I've always struggled with. My grandmother, bless her, who's 89, she can still carve a chicken really well. I Kick My Cat, what would you say about getting a PPL if you have no intention of starting a career in aviation? Absolutely, Kick My Cat. Now, depends where you are in the world. I think in the UK, it's not as open or as free as it is in the US. The US has a lot more capacity and space and ability to accommodate GA, whereas in Europe, UK especially, it's expensive, congested airspace. But I'm not putting. Don't get me wrong. I'm not putting anyone off from doing their PPL in the UK. And if you want to fly recreationally, absolutely go and do it. And I enjoyed my hour building in the UK. There was a point where I thought, oh, it's all getting a bit the same and stuff. But I wished I'd definitely kept my single engine piston rating active, so I can still fly recreationally. Plain old Ben's in the house. Good day to you. A Dash 8 type rated first officer is here. And I'm sure you've all heard of Plain Old Ben. He is a very useful YouTube channel for those of you who all think about starting a flight training. You're doing very well anyway, buddy. Domino Mosina, soon you'll be flying over my local airport, Echo Papa Papa Oscar, which I think is Poznan. Did you say you're joining in on this sector though, Domino Mosina? Or did I hear you ahead? I did hear an alpaca with a Polish accent in Luton. You can also do an NPPL for light aircraft for about half the cost, about as much fun as a full PPL. They're very popular as well, Pitrish, in the UK. What shifts do you work as a pilot? Merciless Games. Typically, I'd work a block of 5 days and can have between 3, 4, 5 days off. Sometimes it could be a block of 4 days, sometimes 6. Generally, quite a fixed roster. Domino Mosina, yeah, I'm already ahead over Poznan. Fantastic. Right, anyway. Oh yes, sorry ZIBO, we actually got the latest, didn't we? So here's the latest weather. So, Warsaw Chopin, 310 at 7. So yeah, very likely to be runway 33 in use, 10k. So it's light snow, but visibility is still quite good. So it's not. When we're actually calculating whether to our holdover times, this is for takeoff here. We actually take the visibility into account to work out the snowfall intensity. But right now, there's nothing there that would suggest that the runway is contaminated or anything like that. Now you can get something called on a METAR from an airport, braking coefficients or runway performance data. Snow tams as well, but I'm just looking here at the METAR off my phone here, but there is a chance for showers of snow, tempo showers of snow all night, so we'll have a look at that. Again, how it's depicted in a desktop simulator, I'm not so sure. But, there's no snow tams for Chopin. RS Turbo, do you prefer early,
50,
late,
40,
or
30,
middle day shifts?
20,
early shifts preferably,
10.
but I really don't mind. Thanks, Kate.
This is for the new mug fund, as the mouse fund is closed now.
That is correct, Kator. Thank you very much for the £7.38 and for contributing to the mouse fund previously. Thank you very much. I think we're all good for the mug fund now. We've definitely covered that, so I'll make sure I get a new mug. I now have there are other mouses available, a Logitech G903 Lightspeed, which I picked up at the Black Friday sale, usually £130, and had you said to me a week ago, do you want to spend £130 on the mouse, I would have told you to, you're having a laugh, but I got it for £70 at the Black Friday sale, and my oh my, what a difference it makes. It's an awesome mouse, it feels great. I'm left-handed, so it's ergonomically designed for left and right-handed people, move the switches around, the response is great. Yeah, big difference from my Tesco £30 mouse or whatever that cost, which lasted so long. the mug formerly known as S, yes. S for super. Right, anyway. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how snow's depicted in the sim. Unfortunately, we won't get snow in X-Plane 11, especially with Ortho. But yeah, there's nothing to calculate or use to work out the braking action in the sim, but I will briefly discuss it. Right, so we have got 160 miles to run. We have around just over 25 minutes for the descent. Let's start setting up now for the approach. Gives us plenty of time in case we have a bit of a rushed approach here. You clever guys in chat as well, I always ask this. I would love to know how many arrivals we're expecting into Chopin this evening. I don't think it'll be super busy, which will be great, but I don't mind a little hold or two. It's when we do those events where there's 100 aircraft inbound in the space of 2 hours. We usually have issues, but we should be okay. Plainly, I know, £130, can it make tea or sandwiches? I'd rather hope so, and I would never have spent that full price to be fair, but someone asked and I said, you know what, it did make a difference more so than I thought. Right, anyway, let's start getting the show on the road here. Let's get rid of the control column. There we go.
Lot 399, proceed direct Delta Hotel 412.
So, let's get some wind data in.
Good evening. Is that 1308 Bremen, hello, identified. Thank you.
So 34 at 70. Oh, 034 70. 200, 028 53. And 100, 014 at 19.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, contact Warsaw 134, that's on the 875, bye bye.
134875, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. Bye now. Good. How do you say good evening in Polish?
50,
That'd be great.
40,
Oh my
30,
goodness! Thank you very
20,
much,
10.
Auntie Murphy, for the 20 euros. That's very kind of you, sir. Thank you.
Hi Captain, great stream as usual. Can beat chickens to flight deck to sim for entertainment. Top-notch viewing. Also career guidance channel on the side.
Thank you.
Caught the video of Blériot 11. Some laugh. Hope all is well.
Auntie Murphy, that's very, very kind of you. Thanks for the 20 euros. Chicken to flight deck to sim. Got there eventually. Maybe I should rename the channel. Put a little chicken there on top of the aeroplane swoosh. But thank you very much, and I'm glad you found the Blériot 11 stream entertaining. It was certainly great fun to stream, and that is going to be making another appearance again very, very soon. Don't worry about that. Thanks a lot, Anthony. Very, very kind. Dobry den? Dobry wieczór. Oh no. Dobry wieczór. Marianne's going, oh my god. I need to check in soon, guys. Dobry wieczór. Can you breathe for me? Henlo? I'm not going to say henlo. Dobry wieczór. Okay, thanks phonetically for putting it phonetically, AP. Oh. Oh, that didn't sound good.
506. Unable.
Just say good evening in English.
Easy 38 Quebec Hotel, when ready, descent flight level 210.
I go for doubly den. Yeah, I'll take that. I'm going to try Venture though. Oh, I need to check in. It's getting busy now.
Blocked. Thank you, welcome back.
Oh, I keep. The problem is, before I talk, I keep engaging my brain and really thinking about what to say. And I've flown to Poland plenty of times as well, but I always say good evening. But because I know a lot of Polish people are watching, I'm doing my bit. How do you say that? Dobry wieczór. Oh my! Did you hear that? Probably amazing. Warszawa, Dobry wieczór, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, maintaining
50,
flight level
40,
370
30,
inbound to Obaku.
20, 10.
More for the mug fun. Thank you for the stream, Captain.
Hold on, I completely missed the ATC there. Sorry. Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. Can you say again? Sorry.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, proceed Bimpa, clear Bimpa for uniform arrival, runway 33.
Direct to Bimpa for the Bimpa 4 uniform for runway 33, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. Thank you. There we go. Right, direct to Bimpa, executes. All navs engaged. Who was that? Sorry. I'm so sorry there. The typing of that was not great. Liam Barwick, thank you very much for the £10 there. Look, I'll even ping it again because I missed it.
50, 40,
thank you very much for
30,
the £10.
20, 10.
I completely misheard that. More for the mug fund, he said.
More for the mug fun. Thank you for the stream, Captain.
Thank you very, very much. That's very kind of you. You did it right. Yeah, that's fine. Perfect. Thank you very much for. And this is true when I'm flying in real life. I do try to make an effort, but often the person sat next to me is also British, and we don't. Neither of us know how to pronounce it. But having some Polish people here, it's great. Thank you very much, Liam Barwick. We're going to have a very nice mug by the time this is done. I'll put a big S in it. Right, let's carry on with the rest of the setup here. Forecasting winds. QNH is is 1020. And expecting well, no, we're not expecting. We've been told it's runway 33. So runway 33, fixed rings. Now we're going to be flying this in IMC. The cloud base is broken at 800, so we'll configure at 5 miles today. Get out of flat 15. We need to be stable at 1,000 feet. That's my operator's SOP here. We're set at 37,000 feet. So that's going to be 111. And that roughly corresponds with our top of descent point just here. Let's now flick through the arrival, make sure we're happy with the waypoints.
Tango Lima, confirm ready to descent. Okay, there you are, Alpaca 2 Tango Lima, hello Warszawa, radar contact, continue climb level 3.
So first restriction is at Bimper, where we're routing direct to, and to be at or below flight level 280. Let's temporarily delete this and see where we'd like to ideally be. So this will place us slightly below the profile. Remember, these restrictions don't always allow for a continuous descent. So that will place us around 2,000 feet low, but we have to comply with it. From there, we're going to be going to Gosma. 250 knots or below. Whiskey Alpha 507, 507 speed below flight level 120. Lavmo speed back to 220 knots. That's all coded in the FMC. Then we're going to Utmix. We're passing a beam the airfield there. Now, if we're expecting a bit of a straight-in approach here, we might want to modify the FMC slightly because at the moment it has us at Utmix at flight level 112, which is going to leave us very high, and it's a very good point here made by the chart here. Tactical point for non-standard shorter approach, possible use only on request or approval, and that is direct to Erleg, so we might get a direct to Erleg there. And what? Let's just see how many miles away Erleg is, and that's just a little bit of a hint to flight crew to suggest that you might have a little bit of a shortcut here. So plan for that. And you can see here Erleg is pretty much on a 12-mile final. So what I'm going to do to kind of cater for that, I'm sure many of you have seen me do this before. I'm going to change this to 3,000 feet or above as well, because it's not a mandatory altitude restriction. We're going to get VNAV to put us in a position to sort of accept a 12-mile final, because I don't anticipate any significant delay today. So you'll see at the moment it says optimal 907. I'm going to go from optimal direct to Erleg and see what altitude that places us at. So optimal saying 97, but if we get optimal to Erleg, we'll actually want to be at 5,300 feet at optimal. So what I'm going to do is erase that, and I'm going to put as a hard altitude here at 5,000 feet, and that way VNAV is going to put us in a position here to accept sort of a 10-12 mile final. So I hope that makes sense there. Nomad New Ring is not centered. Yeah, it shouldn't be centered because obviously we're not routing straight in on this approach. It's just based off the runway point here. MS Captain, flight level 190 over Bimper. Did I say that wrong? 190 below? And IS max 280 knots. Yeah, that's all there. I think you might have misunderstood me there, MS, or I've made a mistake. Let me know in chat. So that is all set. We've catered for the fact we might get a shortened approach, as advised by the chart. And it's RNAV based. There's no ground based navigation aids. It's based off. Thanks MS. Perfect. ILS Zulu runway 33 then. That actually starts here via this point here, the initial approach fix, but there's that Erleg point we mentioned. Hopefully we'll get a direct to Erleg for this shortened approach here. Starting at the top, ILS frequency 110.3. That's now active both sides. Final approach course is 327. Which is set as a height check at 8.3 DME off Whiskey Alpha, which is the ident. That's to be at 3,000 feet. And that waypoint is represented by, I believe, Whiskey Alpha 529. So you can see if we zoom in here, 8.3 Whiskey Alpha is also Whiskey Alpha 529, and there it is coded in the FMC, and that is as a hard altitude at 3,000 feet. So VNAV will place us here quite nicely on the approach. 3-degree ILS, that checks in the FMC. Down to the minimums for CATC aircraft is 557, with full approach lights available, RVRs 550 meters. So 8,000 meters I think it was at the moment, or a little less. So we'll set 557 for the minimums. Oops, I think I might have the heavy tab.
Easy 38 Quebec Hotel, contact Warszawa, 123625, bye-bye.
I have reset my... I hate it when I do that. I've accidentally reset my view. Let's put that back in the captain's seat.
Alpaca 18 Tango Foxtrot, when ready, descent level 170, when ready. 170,
That'll do.
Alpaca 1 Tango Foxtrot. Alitalia 51 Golf, report your MAC number.
Just reassigning my view there because I accidentally reassigned it staring at the FMC. About that I'm happy with. There we go. So that's that. Know what we're doing. There we are. What did I forget to brief? So we briefed the minimums. We've got Pappy's on the left, missed approach. We have to go around and push Toga. Cool, go around flat 15, set go around for us. Pos radar climb, gear up, 400 feet, engage LNAV, climb straight ahead to Zelto, left turn to Warsaw VOR, 14.9, climb to 3,000 feet, then as directed by ATC. So we'll stick in 14.9 on standby. And that's the approach briefed.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Thank you very much to Kid Bear for the €2. He says, for the mug fund, enjoy stream very much as always. Thank you very much, Kid Bear, for the €2. My goodness, that poor mug I broke. Did Mariana take a picture and post on Discord? I don't know, but it's millions of pieces. But yeah, thank you very much, Kid Bear, and I hope you're doing well. And thank you for another donation. That's very kind. So yeah, that's it. Now we did want to talk about approach briefing here, so let me just, I'm going to get a copy of something called the Talpa Matrix up in front of me here, which I have on my PC. Now I'm not going to show you this because it's a company-based documentation, but I will explain it anyway. So we have a landing performance calculator in the ZIBO mod, which actually is quite accurate. I don't know if it's working for contaminated runways, but let's have a look here. It is under... Where is it? I can never remember. There we are. Performance landing. So Warsaw runway 33, 2.5% missed. Yeah, we've only got dry or wet runways modelled in the ZIBO mod, but we'll put this in anyway. I don't think the X-Plane 11 is going to give us anything worse than wet. But as we discovered last ZIBO stream, the braking action for a wet runway in X-Plane 11 is very unrealistic.
50,
it's really,
40,
really
30,
slippy.
20, 10.
Thank you very much, Jonas. Let's Plays for the €5.
Well, not really at the right time, but earlier than last time. D.
Thank you very much, Jonas. Let's Play. Are you referencing the fact that you're a bit a different time to do that? I don't know there, Jonas. Let's Plays. Thank you very much. Regardless, we're not really at the right time, but even last time, mega. Oh dear, Jonas, I've lost. Thank you very much anyway. Oh dear. Right, wet. It's light snow, so I'm going to put wet here. It's all I can do. Temperature's 1. QNH is 1020.
Ryanair 5 uniform Charlie, contact Munich 133 decimal.
So okay, our landing weight here. Quite so bright in here. 3 tons then. Alternate, remember, it was 1800 just to get to modelling. So we're going to be burning 1.3 tons. We've got 3 tons to get there with. We have 4.3 on board, so 1.3 to burn. That's going to be 61.3 as our landing weight. Flap 30. Air conditioning auto, anti-ice on, reverses engaged. There we are. So you can see the stopping distances. Order brake 3, 2,065 metres with second detent reverse. Runway length labels look massive, 3,600. So even Sierra 1 here we can vacate the first sort of high speed. I'd say that's around 2,800 metres or so, maybe less. So I think we're going to order brake 2, look, 2,500. So we'll go flat 30, order brake 2, and now this is based off a wet runway, remember, not one that's contaminated, which I'd definitely be using a higher order brake setting and a higher reverse setting. So that's it. Checks are all complete. Actually, just love he's rolling his R's. He is. So yeah, if we found out then, we know it's snowing, okay, in Warsaw right now, and what we'd be trying to do is get some information about the runway condition to calculate our braking action. So for landing, there's loads of different types of runway contamination. So you have a dry or wet runway. That's generally a non-contaminated runway, so long as the runway has less than 3 millimeters of water. Okay, if there's more than 3 millimeters of water, or there's contamination, so we have contamination such as frost, standing water, so that's water over 3 mil, up to a maximum of 13, snow, which could be dry snow or wet snow, there's compacted snow. What we do for landing performance, we take whatever the contaminant is, and we also find out its depth. Okay, depth isn't always necessarily, and with that data we put it into a table. Now if you search Google, I'm not sure if you can get this table. It's from the FAA. If I just type in here Talpa matrix, you might get one anyway. Yeah, I mean, if you go to Talpa matrix, type it in Google, go to images, you can see the Talpa matrix there. It's very similar to my operator. They have adjusted it slightly, but it came in from the Southwest Airlines overrun. That's when the FAA introduced this in 2005, and you'll see that this table we used to work out the braking action. Okay, so we depict all that information, and once we found out what the braking action is, we can punch that in the OPT. Now obviously the OPT in the mod only models dry or wet, but the real OPT
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Thank you very much, Kator, for the €1. Very, very kind of you again. Thank you. Put that back into the bank fund. Now, on the real OPT, when we select the braking action, we have dry, good, medium, medium, poor, or poor. Now, if it's calculated that the braking action is poor, we're actually prohibited from landing. Now, that's an operator-specific rule, but braking action of poor, the landing distances are very excessive. And in certain cases we actually have to downgrade the braking action based on certain criteria, and we have all this reference to tables and stuff. But yeah, I hope that sort of makes sense. If you type in Google Talpa matrix, the first link I found was actually a very useful presentation from the FAA, so have a look at that and learn a bit more about it.
20,
Oh, Jonas, let's play. Sorry again, you didn't have to do that.
Last stream you were already landing and I was late, unfortunately, because of work in there. Late evening.
Oh, Jonas, let's play. Please accept my apology, because I get so many people coming and it's very hard for me to stay on top of who's doing what and stuff, so I'm really sorry that I forgot that last time. And thank you again for another €5 to donate based off your original donation where you were highlighting you're not late, you're here right in time to watch the approach and landing into the capital of Poland, Warsaw. So thank you very much, buddy, for your donation there. Cool. So yeah, I hope that made sense. I'm sorry I'm having to talk over ATC. It's a little bit challenging to listen in. But yeah, there's lots to learn. This is a new thing we've covered, which I don't think we've covered before. And it'll be interesting to see how the snow's depicted in X-Plane, because I don't think we've ever flown with snow before. Latest METAR as well is showing light snow, low cloud base, broken at 700 feet. So we will come out the clouds a little bit there. Kate, €2. Well done. You win today's prize of... What did I forget to set? It was indeed minimums 557. I think I definitely mentioned it, but it's no use if you don't set it. Excellent job, Kator. Hopefully the descent checklist would have spotted that. Thank you very
50,
much.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Coming up, Kator. Oh no, not 577. 557. There we are, and I'll also preset the QNH as well. 1020. There we are. I think we're all ready for the centered approach, and I hope that makes sense to all of you watching. And yeah, one other thing to mention: the temperature. It's 1 degree. Okay, when it falls to 0 or below, we need to make something called temperature corrections to all the altitudes below the MSA. Now, we have landed in temperatures below 0 before, most recently in Edmonton, but I'm pretty confident that cold temperature error is not modelled in X-Plane 11, so if I was to make temperature adjustments, it wouldn't work, all the heights would be wrong. But altimeters are subject to temperature error, so if it gets colder, the altimeter underreads, overreads, so you're actually lower than you are when if it gets hotter, it underreads, so you're higher. So obviously if it gets cold, it's potentially quite dangerous because you're lower than you actually think you are. So it's very important to get that set correctly. Petrich, I don't think snow is depicted in Explain. You might get rain effects, but that's it. Ah, okay. Microsoft Flight Sim does a good job at snow. There are textures, all kinds of conditions, but I don't think Explain does anything. Yeah, I've seen it, the snow in Microsoft Flight Sim. It's incredible. It looks really, really good. Thanks a lot, Yellow Flight Official, for the £2. I love the stream for the 2 hours I've been here. That's awesome, Yellow Flight Official, and thank you for staying put. And I'm glad you're enjoying it. Approaching top of the set. Toga Simulations, hey Captain, could you do the overload tomorrow? I think you're referring to the Copenhagen one. I think that was the only one I saw. Well, the original plan today was to actually stream in Microsoft Flight Simulator the fly-by-wire A320, which unfortunately, due to the most recent update from Microsoft, is a little broken because a new scenery developer, whose name I've just forgotten off the top of my head here, has very kindly gifted me 2 copies of some some payware Manchester sceneries. It's available in a beta. It's still being developed, but it does look quite good. And we all love giveaways, so the plan is, if they get that fly-by-wire A320 working, is to stream that tomorrow in and out of Manchester, offline to do the giveaway. But I'll possibly see if I can. I don't know. I'm not confident enough to take any aircraft, complex commercial aircraft, on VATSIM yet. They're just not good enough. But I hear good things about the fly-by-wire project. But you all love an Airbus stream as well, so we'll see. I did mention to the developer that I'd stream today. I had to apologise because I wasn't getting the sim working, so I did this instead. I said I'll try and move it to tomorrow, but again, I might have to delay that further. But the Copenhagen event would be cool. I do have the Fly Tampa scenery. Copenhagen would be a popular airport to fly into as well. But yeah, I am planning a stream tomorrow. But haven't completely decided what we're doing yet. Petrich, you're quite right. Sorry, Mako Simulations. And if you're watching Mako Simulations, I think you did just say you were. I'm so sorry, I briefly forgot you. Check them out, guys. Mako Simulations, new on the scene, but they've made a Manchester, UK Manchester scenery for Microsoft Flight Simulator. You can get it for just €8 at the moment, and it's still in development. I installed it yesterday. It looks pretty good, like most of the payware quality airports as well. Aaron Borson, who are the best scenery makers? There's all sorts available. Orbex, I'd highly recommend. Fly Tampa, I'd highly recommend. Beauty of Explain 11, there's a whole host of very high quality freeware airports available. TDG, the airport we just flew out of Luton, that was made by them. So many. Runway 26 simulations I used. I always not link them, but I mentioned the scenery we used in the video description below, so you can always find out what copy that was.
Airchild 7 Whiskey leaving Space Praha offline, switch meter Unicom 1 to do the simulate.
Unicom, sounds good.
Hi, Farway, can you please explain how minimums work in ZIBO? What is it? And how to set it up before landing? Thank you, he says. Well, firstly, let's get our descent, because we're approaching top of descent here, to make that bimper restriction. Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, request descent.
0 with the heading descent flight level 210.
Blocked.
Ryanair 7 Whiskey Alpha fly heading 090 with the heading descent flight level 210.
Fly heading 090 and
Roy Heap, do you know how to say good evening in Danish? No clue.
210.
Flight heading 090 and descent flight level 210, Ryanair 7 Whiskey Alpha.
Ryanair 7 Zulu
busy. And this is common in the summer. You try to get top of descent, you can't get a word in edgeways.
Charlie Hotel when ready, descent level 280.
Descending now, flight level 280, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. So there's 280. Remember what I tell you guys, don't punch in VNAV, especially if you're high, because it will dive and go for level change. Top of the sense in chat as well. Down we go, inbound to Warsaw. If you just tuned in, well, great time to tune in as well. Don't forget we're running a stream 6 hours behind live time, so we can enjoy the sunset into Warsaw. I fly away, minimum. So what the minimums are is a height above the ground at which we need to have visual contact with the runway. Now, depending on the approach you're flying, for a Cat 1 or a non-precision approach, you need to have some element of the approach light system. For Cat 2, Cat 3, there's certain other requirements, such as an amount of consecutive lights, 3 consecutive approach lights you need to see. And that height is set here. Now, this is a decision altitude we've set here, 557, 557. To do that in the ZIBO mod, make sure that switches in Barrow, and then you simply set that number. C is the category of the aircraft, and then that way the aircraft will call minimums. And if you don't see the approach lights, you must immediately initiate a go around. There can't be a hesitation, okay? And for this Cat 1, we need to see the threshold lights, approach lights, some element of the approach light system. So that's what the minimums are. Radio we'd use for a Cat 2 or Cat 3 approach. And that's a height above the ground, whereas what we set here is an altitude. Right, anyway. It's very hard for me to talk over ATC, so apologies for that, and I hope that made sense. I far away. Mr. X6, good shout, TJ. Excellent scenery making, some excellent freeway airports as well. So I'm going to crack the speed up slightly because we're 2,000 feet high. This guy's loud.
When ready, descend 210.
Ryder 9 Alpha Bravo. Actually, I will appreciate if you descend now below flight level 3.
I hate it when it does that, the lighting. So we're trying to make this restriction at Bimper, but don't forget there's a speed restriction at 280 knots as well. I hate doing that at the thing, 'cause it's not a chart, but you select airport. So this is the restriction we've got to think about, guys. We've got Bimper max 280 to be below flight level 190. We're 1,500 feet high, and we have 4 minutes, okay? So the profile's coming back in, and as soon as we're back on profile, I'll select VNAV and just keep an eye on the speed, and it should slowly come back to 280 knots.
Ryanair 39 proceed direct Mike Oscar 851. Ryanair 39 Charlie Mike Oscar 851.
Bank angle to 25. Look, I remembered.
Alpaca 2 whiskey whiskey.
Of course, the next issue is we've only been cleared to 280.
Alpaca 2 whiskey whiskey descent flight level 35.
So I'm going to go vertical speed 1,000 feet. And bring the speed back because we don't want to accelerate.
Alpaca 2 Golf when ready, descent flight level 220.
So there's nothing I can do about making that restriction if we've not been cleared lower. Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, request further descent.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, descent flight level 150.
Descend flight level 150, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. So let's go to V. No. Let's go level change, sorry. So we'll go back now, and because we can maintain an indicated airspeed, we'll go 300 knots. 150 is set, and as soon as we're getting back on that profile, VNAV will ensure we make the altitude restriction. The next thing to ensure is the speed's under control, which we can use speed brake or thruster to keep in limits there.
Ryanair 4 Golf Whiskey, report your Mach number.
Toga Simulations Captain, something interesting topic to discuss. I know the answer. I think it would be interesting to others as well. In a train escape manoeuvre, pilots must keep gear down. Why? Good question. Configuration, you leave it absolutely where it is. You don't change flap gear until the train is no longer a factor. That's because you only want to be concentrating on one thing, which is getting the aircraft out of there. Okay, if you start messing around with configuration, you're not going to prioritise correctly the thrust. Okay, that's I think is the honest reason. I don't truly know, because you'd think, oh, raising the gear would make sense. But the difference in height that would make between delaying, adding full power, and pitching up to 20 degrees, that's what's most important. So that's it. Now those sort of tutorials and things I generally don't discuss because of the sensitivity of the manoeuvre. I don't want anyone... I know full well that line pilots watch my streams, okay? And I always stress that this is for entertainment only, so don't take away anything I'm doing here onto the line. And that's why I don't do stalls, I don't do wind shear escapes, I don't do train escapes, because I don't want to make a mistake or differ from what they're told to do from their operator. You're right, as you said, Tony, it will create more drag, but it's minimal when you're setting full power and stuff like that. It's far more important to do that, and then when terrain's no longer a factor, you can worry about the configuration. Right, so 300 knots, profiles coming. ATC is so loud, so people speak, I can't hear it. Honestly, it's so loud, like it varies hugely between controllers and pilots here. Yeah, I've been too busy chatting here, so we're getting a little bit high on this profile. I'm just going to go 320. 125.05 Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. Oh, thank God for that. So yeah, actually no, 320 is the wrong thing to do. We need to go 280 now, and what I'm going to do is go back to VNav, okay? So it's going back to its target speed of 284. It's now going to pitch up to do 1,000 feet per minute. So it shall respect the 190 restriction, as you can see here. We've already made that. What's it doing? Come on, ZIBO. It's a bit slow. It should be going straight up to 1,000 feet per minute, so I'm going to have to do that manually. I'm just going to go 1,000 feet. So this is what VNav should have done. What I'm doing now, essentially, is what VNav should have just done. Go to 1,000 feet per minute. And I'm just going to bring that speed back to 280 or below. So there's 280, a tad fast at the restriction, but we'll imagine they didn't see that. We'll go back to VNav. There we are, now it'll do 1,000 feet per minute, and we're about 20 knots fast, but nothing to see here. Did I press the... I'm so busy chatting. Approach 125050. Badge for approach, good evening, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel on the... inbound, sorry, to Gobsa, descending flight level 150. I forgot what the star was called.
Alpaca 7 Papa, correction, Charlie Hotel, hello Warsaw, descent flight level 130.
Descent flight level 130, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. I forgot we were on the BIMPA 4 uniform. I couldn't find the word. So 130
7 Zulu Golf, continue descent 4000, QNH1020.
Cool. So we're now all complying with restrictions. We're at 280 knots. Ooh, a little bit of moisture coming into view here. So it's -10. We'll whack on the engine anti-ice. Ever since Vulcan 1150, or even before that, the ski rain effects have been completely broken in the ZIBO mod. I really miss the rain modelling. Unfortunately, we just got this not that great default rain effects, unfortunately. But they're okay. There's a bit of immersion. Well said, Thingy-Major. Yeah, extra form drag from having gear out should have minimal effect on low speeds anyway, yeah. Wipers, David Wank, you don't need to use wipers until you're on final approach.
Steiner 7 Zulu Golf, reduce speed 180 knots until 60 ME.
So pop seatbelt sign on. Wing anti-ice, very much a visually based system, so you want ice building up on your wiper or windscreen. That's when you'd know to use wing anti-ice, which is again not modelled in the desktop simulators, and Microsoft Flight Simulator's depiction of icing is somewhat extremely aggressive. It's like severe icing every time. Perfect. So next restriction, max 250 at Gobsa, which VNav is complying with. You can see the new target speed of 250. Speed's coming back beautifully. Domino Mosina, congratulations. Alpaca 782 made it to Chopin. Fantastic. Mick Homburg, would rain look like that at 280 knots? No. It'd just be a constant stream. You wouldn't even see anything. But you'd hear it if it was light or moderate rain.
Daniel, break, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, descent flight level 100.
Descent flight level 100, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. So 100 set, a little bit low on the speed. We'll leave it as it is. So it should go to FMC speed soon to add speed here. Toga simulations, what is the windshield escape manoeuvre and what is the procedure for carrying out a terrain escape manoeuvre? If you are a line pilot, please ignore me, as I will explain the procedure here. So a windshield escape manoeuvre is disconnect autopilot, you push Toga, immediately apply full power, disconnect the auto throttle, pitch up to the flight directors of 15 degrees, wings level, speed brake retracted, and follow the flight directors until wind shear is no longer a factor. Terrain escape, sort of similar, but also very different in many ways too. Direct to Umtix, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, thank you. Nice little shortcut here, so direct to Umtix. It's leaving us slightly below profile, that's because the restrictions were leaving us low. So that's the windshield escape, terrain escape, pretty much the same. You disconnect the autopilot, but you also disconnect the auto throttle. You firewall it, full power, as you would with the windshield escape. And it's 20 degrees, okay, wings level. And if terrain is still a factor, you continue to pitch up to the pitch limit indicators or stick shaker. But terrain escape, yeah, you don't want to be ever having to do that. So it's seriously gone wrong if you're having to do a hard terrain escape warning. But that is a no questions asked. That is even if you're visual guys, if you get some sort of terrain, you do the manoeuvre. The terrain escape manoeuvre.
Speedbird 2 Hotel Romeo, thank you. Contact Warszawa 134.87 for further climb, bye bye.
There we are. So, sort of on an extended downwind leg here, inbound to Umtix. So, nice little shortened approach, very typical. And hopefully some sort of further shortcut from that.
7 Zulu Golf, maintain minimum approach speed. Contact tower frequency 123.992.
So that's EPWA's tower, that's not actually Warsaw's. I think the next frequency for tower is 1183 for us.
Ryanair 39er Charlie, descent flight level 90. Descent
flight level 90, Ryanair 39er Charlie.
Okay.
Ryanair 7 Whiskey Alpha, descent to altitude 3000 feet, connect Warszawa 1.
He proves says no wipers over 210. Yeah, I mean, you only stick the wipers on last 2 or 3 miles of the approach. I don't think there's any Boeing limitation for the 7.3 for the wipers. But yeah, you wouldn't want them on at 210. So approaching 1 to go. Mental pilot has a terrain escape video. It's excellent, very cool. Checked.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, descent flight level 90, contact director 12937.
12937, and we're descending to flight level 90, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. Bye. There's director 90 set. Vashva director, good evening, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, descending to flight level 90, inbound to Umtix.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, good evening. Descent 7,000 feet, QNH 1020. Speed 220 knots.
10 altitude 7,000 feet, QNH 1020, and reduce speed to 220 knots, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. So 7,000 set QNH 1020, which is set 3 times, passing 10,000 for 7,000 feet, standby altimeter is set, alarm approach now as well. And 220, so update the target speed to 220. VNAV should allow us to do that, but what I'm going to just do now briefly is go level change, and that's exactly how I do it in the real aircraft, because VNAV is basing your 220 knot speed. You've just updated it, and it was like, well, hold on, you want me to maintain 240, so you might want to use a different mode to ensure you get that speed back. I could have done VDEV speed as well. Right, post-cruise checks coming up then. Fuel, we've got 4 pumps, and we have 3.7 on board, which is a plenty. Lights are on, APU is off, engine anti-ice is on for the icing, pressurization is all set, seatbelts on, recall, there we are, post-cruise checks complete. If you just tuned in, we're just on the descent now downwind for approaching to Warsaw Chopin with their Luton, Warsaw and Stansted. Warsaw doing, I think they're doing 4 different flights you could possibly have done today. But yeah, it's been a great flight. We had 80 for the entire sector, which has been really great to increase the immersion. Thanks, Dizzy Dick, who said you'll be having director before tower. I wish I'd read that in hindsight.
Descend to 3,000 feet and
And you can't see anything. We have not seen anything today, have we? All this lovely ortho installed. And Orbex True Earth scenery. And we've just been flying in cloud. There's a little bit of Poland down there, look. Direct to Optimal, we can expect base turn after Optimal Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. And look at that, it's exactly what we planned for. So we'll go direct to Optimal, execute, and he said expect a base turn after that. Now I've already anticipated for that. Let's just play it safe, leave the coding in the FMC, because if there's a change of plan, he'll go, actually, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel after Optimal, continue with the arrival, and he'll be like, oh no, I deleted it from the FMC. No, it's not a problem, you could just punch it back in. But we catered for that shortcut by adding the 5,000 feet restriction at Optimal. Turn altitude 6,000 feet, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. 6,000 is set.
Director, good evening, Alpaca to Golf, passing flat left.
So there's an Alpaca going in the other direction. Very cool. I think Mariana's... Can you hear her? Can you hear that in the background? She's wearing something in some... Oh, thank you. Jay said, "P, we good at this stuff. Should be a pilot." Hashtag, are you a real pilot?
1,000 to go.
Wait, hold on. I have an emoji for this situation. It's this one. Descend altitude 5,000 feet, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. He's very softly spoken. 5,000 feet checked. So looking good here. Yes, VNAV showing slightly high, but I'm happy with the position. As soon as we get our base turn, we can go straight to flap 1, select 180 knots. What's the next airplane you're going to stream after the 737 more frequently? Aaron Boston, we stream everything here. A300, 737s, Blériot 11s. I usually do whatever I fancy doing. Nathan Atkinson, how does the ETE work on routes? That's from a plugin called Sim Toolkit Pro, which is a fantastic. After Optimal, heading 060 degrees, descend altitude 4,000 feet, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. Yes, Sim Toolkit Pro, spoken to developer before, nice guy. I only use it to ensure that you have this plugin on the Streamlabs here, and this is just looking, obviously it's stagnant now because we're flying away from the airfield, but it just looks at the time, there's oops, heading select, it's looking at your position to see where you are in relation to that the airport, and you can see that it's not too short at the moment because we're heading away from the airport. It's just as the crow flies, essentially. So under vectors, I'm just going to route direct to Whiskey Alpha 533. And we're a little bit low, 700 feet, track miles, we have 17, 18, 54.
Charlie Hotel, descent 3,000 feet heading 360 clear pilot number 2.
To altitude 3,000 feet, continue left turn heading 360 degrees on that heading, cleared ILS 33 Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. So a little bit low here, it's going to go vertical speed.
Alpaca to Golf, descent 6,000.
About 500 feet per minute. There's Glider, it's just come alive there, so a tad low, And the part of that was me slightly delaying that turn onto final there. And there is Poland down below.
Thank you very much. Maintain 180 until 6 miles. And contact.
So turn the music off. I'm going to put the alerts mute. Alerts muted as well, so we concentrate on the approach. And there is traffic. There is traffic only 5 miles ahead here, so I'm actually going to start slowing down. I'm going to go flap 1. Because I don't know when he's going to configure. Oh, that my alpaca colleague put me to shame. He had Dzień dobry, it was perfect. So flaps 1. Oops, I forgot to do the approach checklist of frequencies. 110.3, ILS frequency, Whiskey Alpha's the ident. We have Whiskey Alpha. Standbys are set, courses are set as well. and fixings are in for runway 33.
4,000 feet to the Gulf.
There's the localizer. Oops. Approach. Localizer. Alive localizer.
Expect base in
Capture. Runway heading 327.
Say again, please.
To the Gulf, expect base in 10 miles.
And we're going to go flat 5.
Roger,
Just wait for the glide slope. Nice continuous descent though. Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel established ILS Zulu runway 33, 11 miles.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, thank you very much. Proceeding aircraft 5 miles, ground speed 192, contact Kitchen Tower 118.3, bye bye.
Tower 118.3 Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, bye. Nice information. Usually wouldn't get ground speed information of the traffic though. They just tell you to fly a speed, but his ground speed seems pretty high, so I'm happy to take that. Right, glide slope capture. Missed approach altitude is 3,000 feet, which is set. And look at this rainy, snowy conditions we're in. Looking good. Weather looks lovely. So guess the mystery. Vashva Tower, good day. It's Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, establish ILS Zulu runway 33 at 9 miles.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, Tower, kłaniam się, continue approach, number 2.
Continue approach, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. I forgot it's Okesi Tower, isn't it? Okesi, not Vashva. Perfect, so do we have a ground frequency online? Oops, I just minimised, explained that, didn't need to do it. We do have ground 1219 at stick. I cannot wait to get my radio tuning panel. I wish I'd ordered this a year ago. This is out of stock everywhere now. There we go. So 1 degree. Still in. We're actually in freezing conditions now on the ground here, so the cleanup will be slightly different. We'd actually trim to 5 units. We put the flaps to 15 if we were thinking there's contamination. If not, we could put them straight up, and we actually leave the probes on as well on the taxi in. So looking good here. We'll plan to configure at 5 miles because we'll most likely Active Sky will stick us straight into IMC again because it is broken at 800, even though we can see it at 2,300 feet here. Aircraft is fine, he's ahead of us by 5 miles, and yeah, as I said, we'll plan to vacate. We'll cross 2911, plan to vacate at Sierra 1 or Sierra 2, and we'll start configuring now. Gear down, flat 15, match speed. Landing checks, flaps, star switch are already in continuous, recalls checked, speed brakes, armed green light, landing gear, down 3 green, order brake is set to 2, and flat 30.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, expect late landing clearance, proceeding traffic, still on the runway.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. So flaps, we've got 30, and 30 required green light is here, and we're just waiting for the landing clearance. Guys, let's disconnect, have some fun, alright? It's fine, okay, like before, that's why I don't like this guy doing this. At least last time this happened to us, we were flying visually. I still have the flight directors. I wouldn't advise flying manually in IMC, but we have the flight directors, which we can follow all the way down to minimums at least. Just typical, isn't it? So it's very important to really nail those flight directors in these conditions, and they'll keep you exactly where you need to be. Perfect timing, I know. This happens every time. Every single time.
Approaching 3-3.
Right, 3-3 cleared to land Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. So there we are, come out of the soup now. There we are. 2 whites, 2 reds for a bit of immersion. Look, we'll put the wipers on. Even though the rain doesn't look that good. Right. So we could still have seen the runway a little bit later. Scenery, guys, I'm going to make a mouthful of it. Dr. Drzewiecki. Lovely depiction of Warsaw Chopin. Checked. Checked. To be fair, if it was light snow, this is probably how it looked like on the windscreen.
200. Minimum.
Continue. Tad low here. Keep it descending now.
50, 40, 30.
Check.
20,
Close.
10.
Ooh, it doesn't want to float at the moment, the ZIBO mod. Holding the attitude. Oh my goodness, what that was really bad. I wasn't even trying. Right, speed brakes up. Reverses. Yeah, that would require some explaining on a line check. Really floated. That was really bad. 100 knots. I have to go for the second high speed. 80. At least the brakes are good. 60 knots. And reverse. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Warsaw Chopin. Chopin. And that was terrible. That landing, my goodness. Really don't want to be doing that. Really holding off the flare. Always aim for that butter. One of my members, Andy, won't be too pleased. But we're down safely, even though it was just... Ground 121, decimal 9 Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. Good day, sir. My oh my, that was a float and a half. At Warsaw Ground, hello Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. Just vacated runway 33 at Sierra 2.
Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel, welcome to ground, very good evening. Taxi stand number 5 via taxiway Zulu and uniform.
Stand 5 via Zulu and uniform, Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. Ooh, I always do this in the mod. I always forget to go to idle with the reversers. Always. Anyway, there's our taxi instructions. Sierra 2, typical Jefferson chart, just full of useful information. But it's a little bit clearer here. Zulu and uniform. So it's all the way around here for stand number 5. So it's just essentially a straight line. And we'll just use the middle Zulu line there to get to uniform for stand number 5.
I need you parked on the ramp for service.
Okay then. I didn't even know how to do that. Right, flaps are up. All the brakes do off. Strobes coming off. Remember, we're in freezing conditions as well, so I have put the flaps up already. We need to be confident that the wings are not contaminated, which I think in these conditions, very light snow, sort of only heavy snow if the runway is covered in snow and slush, we'd perhaps delay retracting the flaps until we're clear, or we're confident they're clear of contamination. Trim goes to 5 units instead of 4. That prevents ice and snow getting into the cavities and the horizontal stabilizer. And we leave the probe heat on. Essentially, that's it. It's the same cleanup. Oh, I know what we're missing. Is a little bit of stream taxiing music, aren't we? There we go. That's better. Wicked. Yeah, but otherwise, apart from the awful float I did, a thoroughly enjoyable sector. And we're going to be going behind the KLM here onto uniform. Turn the old volumes back up. What's the music token simulations? This is called Say Goodbye by Ron Jelinas. Like the wiper sound effect, it is awesome, Rory. But to explain to you what I saw out the window, I know you can't see my good friend, it was just light snow and there was little depictions of... oh my gosh, hold on, I'm trying to taxi in a straight line here, Rory. We have the water depicted as sort of droplets here, and previously the ZIBO mod had a much more realistic rain effect, which has worked for a while, which makes the rain look very realistic. It's not bad though, it makes it look like it's snowing. Oh yes, VATSIC transponder, you're quite right, just testing it. Out off trim, I've set to 5 units where the radar is at least off. APU can come up now. But yeah, timing for this flight was lovely. It would appear we were told to stand 5. No, he's on stand 4. Airbus Alpaca Airways, outrageous. How's the scenery on the FPS? Thinking about putting the trigger on buying it. We're getting here 32 FPS, so it's dropped slightly, but bear in mind I'm not only running X-Plane 11, I'm running all the streaming software. It seems, I think it's like many payware scenery, it's obviously a slight impact, but I've had the scenery for a while and it looks really cool. There we are, stand number 5. Take the engine anti-ice off now. Just the one sector this evening, I'm afraid, guys. Coming in a little bit hot here. They usually, if you're coming hot, they say too fast in real life as well. Not that mine ever say too fast. Right, stop. There we are. Parking brake is set. Just waiting for that AP. Oh, look at that. AP on the bus. Park to the wipers. You know what to say, guys. 2 blues, 1 red. Engines are dead. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kessie Warsaw Chopin International Airport. Air bridges connecting. Lovely. That's super cool. Ralph Bartle, nice flight, Captain. Thank you very much. Kate said APU, just about remembered it. Plainly start switches. Did I remember to do that one? Just testing it plainly. Just testing you. Jim. Anti-con can come off now as well. Anything else? I love it. Bit of a jump to make to get onto the air bridge there, but we'll take it. Moman, you are done as usual. Thank you very much. Lazy Gaming UK seatbelts. Yeah, don't worry about those. Guess the mystery you would have had to do it before to know. True. Thanks, plain old Ben. Hope you're doing well as again. Thanks for coming in. Brilliant. Yeah, I want to see what you said about the float. Yeah, the float, that was bad. So I just held the attitude, and genuinely, I mentioned this last stream, I do try and butter it in the sim now, but and it's genuinely a thing in X-Plane 11 too. The aircraft really has a tendency to float. I don't know if it's an exaggerated ground effect, and this isn't just ZIBO mod, it's all the aircraft here. In the real 7.3, you come over the threshold at the correct approach speed, you check, close the thrust, hold the attitude. It does want to settle a bit more. Of course, if you increase pitching back, it will float down the runway, but that attitude which you hold in the real aircraft, it generally settles right down in the touchdown zone, whereas in X-Plane, I found that it's an exasperated ground effect sort, which I know is fully modelled. For Microsoft Flight Simulator, don't ask, I don't know how that works, but I don't have a decent jet airliner to check those sort of effects yet. That doesn't feel too great there at the moment, but we're certainly looking forward to doing something now. DA Lord, the A320 is broken right now. The autopilot, yeah, I've heard, because that was the plan for today, and might have to delay it further if that's not working for tomorrow, because there is no decent. I think that's the only decent commercial airliner we've got. So I will perhaps have to delay that stream with the Manchester scenery. But not to worry, there's plenty of different things we could do. And yeah, Tokyo Simulations mentioned that Copenhagen Overload event. I might have a little look at that. Microsoft Flight Sim A320 is definitely less floating than X-Plane, as in Peters, he likes to make a hole in the ground. I always smash it because I'm used to XP physics. Yeah, slightly different, but X-Plane on the whole, in my experience, is by far the closest we've got right now. In commercial, for commercial jet airliners, it feels. That's why I switched to the sim. It's really cool. Guillermo, did you try a 737 MAX project on X-Plane? I didn't, because I understand that was some sort of dodgy copyrighted version, so I'm never going to use anything like that. Are you streaming tomorrow? Possibly, David Moore. Unlike today, I will probably publish that. I didn't post anything on Instagram. I just posted on Facebook and Twitter right before the stream that I was streaming today. So always, best thing to do is subscribe, and then you get alerted when you turn the bell notification on whenever I'm starting to stream. Wicked. Well, I'll just say thanks to the controller. I forget a chance to busy. So he's going to Stansted. That's super cool. Andy H1302, no Microsoft Flight Simulator 22. That's a shame.
Clear to London Stansted via Lorsi 7 Golf, departure runway 29.
Oh, Burger Fan, I missed a couple of donations there. Oh, that's because I've got the alerts on. Oh my goodness me. That's why I didn't ping up there. There you go. Thank you very much, Burger Fan. Firstly, for the $1.49. Sorry I missed that because I didn't ping up there. No question. And then lastly, $2. Did we have any casualties today? Unbelievable. No casualties
50,
today.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Just plenty of butter. A Ground Alpaca 7 Charlie Hotel. Just shutting down on stand. Thank you very much for the event today, and pass that on to your colleagues. Thank you very much.
Thank you, bye.
Perfect. Oh, sorry. I just read David Waite's comment. The product. We'll pop off the network now. Excellent. Right. Let's now call that a day and cue the funky music. There we go. Look at that. Pro Streamer found the button straight away today. That's how they said it already. So yeah, approach nice. Very happy with that. Landing not so great. Very delayed. That's not what I should have been doing. Let's have a look at it from the threshold. So a bit of a display threshold, which is why we're so high. Hopefully we'll see what we did there. So, check was the right height. So keep it descending, keep it descending. There's the check, maybe a bit high with the check there. Yeah, actually the check was far too high. And look, you can see I'm just holding the nose up. I should not be doing that. Just holding the attitude roughly. Actually, you know what? I was sort of holding the attitude. So you see the attitude's exactly the same, but I am pitching up slightly to get a butter. But I flared too high, or I checked too high. And we'll be in the touchdown zone. Just in the touchdown zone. Even be a bit late. Let's have a look from here. What an awesome view that is. Just in the touchdown zone, look. bit late, but acceptable. Wicked. Oh wow, what a cool tower view! That's the best tower view I've ever seen. Well done to Dr. Drzewiecki. I'm so sorry. But yeah, grab this scenery now. It's probably in a good discount now with the Black Friday sale, but if you're flying into Poland a lot in their main international airport, it's a really nice depiction of it. Oh great, look exactly where we landed. Oh no, there we are. David Wenk, is aero braking ever called for? Absolutely not on an aircraft like this. Not at all. if it is, it's very much unintentional. Right guys, well thank you very much to everyone that popped in today's live stream. Thoroughly enjoyable on the Polish-English link VATSIM event. Nice sector, great to come back into Poland again because it's been a while since we actually streamed to here. So thank you very much as usual to everyone that contributed to the streams, all very kind of you. To everyone that donated as well, I'll get that new mug for myself as soon as possible. For everyone that donated to my late mouse fund as well. To all my members as well, thank you for the continued support as well. And as mentioned, yes, I do hope to stream at some point tomorrow. What we do entirely, I'm not 100% sure, as I said. Make sure you've subscribed and keep an eye on the socials for the latest streams of VATSIM events. Anyway guys, take care and I'll see you all again soon. Bye bye for now.